Okay. Hello and welcome to Holding Action, the show where the chaos and combat is controlled by the rules of Dungeons and Dragons. We are getting into
5th edition.
5th edition. Thank you. Correction. Addendum. Modification. We are getting into what I can only assume is going to be a real butthole clencher tonight. Yeah, I'm just glad you...
I did my toilet paper.
I'm just glad you appreciated that as much as you did.
Not gonna fit.
We do have a lot of chaos to get into, so I'm going to breeze right through. To start, we are going to thank our wonderful sponsors at the Gaming Goat, and to do so, we are, as always, going to turn it over to the main bard in charge, Mr. Sproigins. Would you please tell the people what is good, though?
Hello, my dudes.
And dudettes.
Yeah, just everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dudes is proverbial,
Yeah,
I think.
whether you're a dudes or dudettes.
Or anything in between.
Right. So, what I decided to do for today's sponsor thing was I went back to the well of predictive text.
Good.
Sure, obviously.
So, we're setting the scene here. 1980s, mid to late 80s, 86 to 88, somewhere. Local, like, closed circuit TV station, round table, somewhat dimly lit, like, just trash, fake plant on a table, cushy chair, which Deej sits in.
It's like brown and
Oh.
yellow,
Okay.
like tweed.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
no, that's the couch, the longer couch.
So I have the
on
chair.
side.
So I'm the
You're
Johnny
in the
Carson.
chair, you're the host.
Okay,
So you've
got
got
it.
this, like, gross, yellowy, like, brown, like, coffee cup, with probably some questionable liquid in it.
Sure.
And
Naturally.
then your other guests sit around you, sit on the comfy but also not comfy couch.
Got it. Noted.
So you guys flip your sheet over. All right, and Deej will start.
I will start.
You will start.
Welcome back to Create D&D Evolved into the art of role-playing characteristics with your host, Beazle Squeebs.
I made the names. I just thought the name Diesel Squeebs is...
Oh, well, I have two, like, separated sections,
Yeah.
like,
You know.
pause for applause, I think is what
Yeah.
was going on there. Okay,
Oh, I don't have the app anymore.
that's fine.
All right.
The learning process contributed 18% of the value of hide and skin production and play an integral part in the production systems of the Courtland Halfcore Swip. How do you respond?
Dramatic principles
Yes.
from folklore can help players role characters ultimately impact the overall story because they are a reflection of who the characters.
Interesting. Sufferby Hoople.
Okay.
It's a show.
I'm sorry.
Would you
I'm
mind-
the lone audience member. Just the camera guy jumped. Like, just...
Your retort?
Same fundamental principles of storytelling and character development are that writers and players need to not only begin their character sheets when creating an alternate personality that needs to play livestock production should help increase in character.
That no period in that whole fucking thing? Okay.
There's little
Excellent.
to no
Excellent.
punctuation
Yeah,
whatsoever.
it matches up with your character's next line.
Wow. Wow. 2003 statement. Although their product's population increase between audience and... Dabber Rumple. How do you react to such a wild and institutional constraints?
Dramatic principles involving characters ultimately shape the dramatic personal experiences from theater to cinema claims that they explain what?
Interesting point. Regardless, D&D evolve from meat protein will carry behind a suitable attention episodic. Dramatic principles of entertainment development. Between animals, their imagination takes structured, remarkable seasonality forms. Through storytelling production will focus increased. With 3 local Minnesota location. the Gaming Goat is your ultimate tabletop resource for all things D&D, Pathfinder, Magic the Gathering, Uno, Tuno, and more, all at 10 to 30% off every single day. I would like to thank you, my guest, for stopping by today, and as always, create meaningful of.
Good job. Nailed it.
What did we just
Yeah.
read?
My brain hurts.
Dude, you guys
No.
killed
Don't.
it.
No.
So, go to the Game Goat, spend your Christmas money there, and get stuff.
Yeah, do that. So,
And then fade to black as the lights in the studio dim while everybody still sits in their seats, legs crossed over, sipping their drinks and casually laughing with no audio.
can they all be wearing animal masks?
One is, everybody else has corduroy.
Excellent.
Only
I get corduroy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad we had the opportunity to traverse through the AI-soaked future of predictive text.
Suffer be people.
And first of all, the whole bottom section of the page is me. Like this whole chunk.
I know.
I was not prepared for such an improvised reading. All right. Anyway. All right. So,
That was good.
the
Great. I'm proud of you.
now that we have thanked our wonderful and excellent sponsor, the Gaming Goat, let us get into tonight's session. And before turning control and providing player agency once more, we'll catch everybody up. And on last episode of Holding Action, the group decided to travel directly to Alentress, a city where Sproigins' mother, Eldra, and their patron sponsor of the Tips and Butts, Tierra Nostra Espintu Afanhala, were making their way through expeditious foot via cart and horse towards Alentress to escape the smoldering wreckage that is now Crindon due to a demon invasion that seems to have been ticked up a notch, especially in the location surrounding Esterlin where the group had previously been. With Skadi receiving a arcane premonition of things to come and witnessing Alentress under siege by similar demon invasion, warred on by none other than Rectus the Destroyer himself. The party opted to visit Corsica to catch up with an old ally in the hopes of securing some additional support, armaments, or information, only to have it revealed that Fazio, the right hand of the king, the patron assistant of the group, it seems, this time had been a solar in disguise on the material plane, and now set out to intercept Letus on some undescribed mission, where he was apparently escorting King Erithand. But before taking his leave, he teleported the group directly to Alentress in the hopes that they would be intercepting Rectus. The group approached from the eastern gates, slew a small collection of demons that guarded the main portcullis outside the entrance to the city. And at the tail end of that battle, it seems as if Rectus had already arrived and emerged. At a brief moment of impasse, the group decided it was time to stay and fight. And a fight did indeed ensue. Though it was soon revealed that perhaps Rectus was much stronger than the group was ready for or had anticipated. And with 3 players unconscious, Walker, the only person remaining standing, Rectus dragged the unconscious bodies of Hara and Sproigins towards a wall of force that could not be passed, taunting Walker in his superiority. When Walker had a moment in time to stab at his ego, and through a very skillful exchange and a lucky roll, Rectus was prompted to change his mind. And instead of taking just the 2 unconscious individuals, he aimed to take all 3. Despite their state and the disadvantages imposed by being unconscious, everyone managed to save their role except for Skadi. And as Rectus vanished in a plume of arcane purple smoke, signifying a shifting of planes, he vanished from existence, along with Skadi. The party quickly gathered themselves, healed up enough to recognize their surroundings and what was going on, and then abandoned the front portcullis to flee to the nearby woods in an effort to regroup and perhaps mount some kind of rescue. Meanwhile, Skadi, when she arrived, was completely accosted by a whole host of demon minions. Rectus walking away dismissively. Skadi was shackled, bound, chained, and secured to a stone obelisk in what appears to be some kind of designated interrogation/imprisonment room, where Livus, Hera's brother, a demon motivator for the chain, specifically trained to both excel at and indulge in accelerated interrogation. And as we left that last episode, Skadi, secured to a rock through arcane force, Livus made his introduction. Now, before we officially get into it, I will say that me and Skadi also had a session 2 days after that episode, where we actually played out the circumstances that evolved during her imprisonment. And we'll be picking up from where that session ended with Skadi. Now, with that being said, it is somewhat difficult. It was difficult for her to play. It was difficult for me to DM. But we are dealing with demons who specialize in torture. And literal demons who literally specialize in torture. But with that being said, we will be uploading that tomorrow for consumption should you want to gain additional context after watching this episode. It was very difficult for all of us. I both pride myself in maintaining character motivation and also feel very stressed by it. But just as well, if you want to gain that backstory, you are welcome to do so. We just didn't want to have it precede this episode. So, with that being the case, Hara, Sproigins, Walker, you find yourself in the forest just north of Alan Tress after having fled the fight against Rectus. The sun setting a little lower in the sky, late afternoon, but altogether still seems as if the city is ablaze and awash with a number of different circumstances that would befit a demonic invasion. The orange glow sort of dances off some of the twisted and broken towers that you're still able to see silhouetted on the skyline approximately a mile away through the additional 1,000 or so yards of forest that you've inlaid yourself within. And you stand there collectively trying to figure out where Skadi went or how to get her back. So what happens next?
Walker, I hate to ask, but do you have any more heals for me?
Yeah,
I haven't died that much in a long time.
a few. I will do that right now.
I will also do some minor heals for the 2 remaining spell slots that I have.
Okay. So go ahead and expend whatever heals you want, because you're all pretty low, but also pretty low on slots, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
While they're working on that, I would like to use the Bones of Scribe.
Okay.
Do I need to roll first before I can ask my question?
No, you can ask your question.
I just want to ask if Skadi is in the Hells.
Okay.
And then
7.
Thank you.
You have luck left?
I've got 1. It's a DC 15 and I rolled 15.
That's a success.
Is that your first success with the bones?
Yes!
Bone mama!
I was gonna be like, if this doesn't work, I don't think Hara thinks they work.
Okay. So as you stand there, clutching the bones, asking your question, and you cast them onto the ground there in front of you, you see the bones kind of roll over onto themselves, jostle and shake, and kind of form this tiny little mound before almost crawling up in themselves like a tiny anthill. Falls open completely. And from this bone shell, you hear a smoky whisper. Yes. And then the bones seem to settle in place.
I just asked those weird bone thingies, and it actually worked, and Skadi's in the house. I can only ask one yes or no question. So at least we know
So there's
she's in the house.
how many hells?
9 levels.
So we start
Well,
at
is each
we'll
one
work
a
our way up.
different hell, or is it just the hells? And it's you just gotta like you go into a building and that's that building, but it's got different levels in it.
Similar.
So
So one plane,
we don't know.
like a weird gradient. It's complicated,
'Kay.
but I've
So
only
they're
really
all
been on
9
one.
on different planes?
No, it's just one plane.
Okay.
It's just not that easy to.
So have you traveled to specific planes before, or did you just
only
travel
been
to
on
the?
The 4th plane.
But it's not its own plane.
Well, the 4th
Circle.
circle. I've been on the 4th circle in the
So
hell plane.
is it a big circle and then goes in?
It's
Would I know
kind
about
of like
any of
this
that?
weird.
I can't imagine
Radiance.
really why you would, probably.
Would it be kind of like the Fae? How if you walk in a certain direction, it's kind of like a different thing.
It'd be more comparable to the Underdark, maybe.
It's just
Yeah,
it's difficult to explain, but it's
Okay.
You can navigate from one plane to another, but they have barriers that separate them that aren't planar barriers, but they're specifically designed to keep the circles from bleeding into one another.
She could be anywhere.
but we at least know instead of literally anywhere, she's on one plane.
What was
I know, but we don't know which one. So
What was the deal with your circle that you lived at?
Well, mine was the 4th,
You know, what?
and it was just,
was Reckless ever on yours?
fire and I don't know.
What about Vesro? Have we ever learned what level Vesro's on? Or is
He's not in the house.
He's in Noon, right?
Yeah.
So Reckless could have easily brought her there. Oh no.
No, she's in the house.
Yeah, your bones.
She's in the house.
What are we gonna do?
Well, we need to rest. We can't. If we come up against literally anything, she's doomed. We're doomed.
I mean, I still have my crossbow.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Why? Where'd it go? Oh, I still have my sword.
I don't remember that, but you gave it to Pixies.
Yep, that's right. That's why I don't have it. But I still have my sword. No, I don't. I'll
Here you
give
go.
that to the
Here's a
Pixies.
crossbow.
Where do you have another crossbow?
This is my first crossbow.
Oh, alright.
Also, here's a sword.
Now you have 2.
Here's a dagger.
Okay.
I hoard shit.
Do you have
Just-
more things to put on the ground at me?
I mean, like, I've got some mugs.
Got
I've
a
got
diamond?
some more daggers. I've got some more short swords.
I mean, am I
Yeah,
off
like
here
a
by
diamond.
saying that we should probably be coming up with a plan instead of handing out weapons?
I'm panicking.
Yeah, the plan is we have to go to sleep and then we need you to send messages.
We don't know where your mom is. But
Right.
even if we did, we have to choose right now.
Choose what, my mom or Skadi?
I mean, like, spending time to go to her and protecting her and making sure she's fine ourselves, we're going to save Skadi, because that's going to be
No,
time
so
sensitive.
we could get. Hopefully, boss will respond to a message, and he can come and do fucking husband duties.
Okay,
Or
that would
Akis?
be good.
Akis think he's still in Crinan. His slow ass ain't gonna move anywhere. He doesn't know magic.
And then I think we should try to reach out to Skadi. I don't know if it'll work, but we got messages on other planes. Maybe she can tell us what level she's on.
I've never cast this spell before.
Would she know what level she's on? If you've never been there, would you know?
I-
Or like signs, welcome to
She
fourth
could
level?
ask us what it smells like.
Is the visualizations different for each level?
Well, I know the 5th level, I think, is like super snowy, so she'd like it there. The 4th level is all brimstone and hot, so she would hate it.
Okay, well, I mean,
That's what,
So I think they're all a little different. I don't.
sounds like you have a little knowledge, but unless we can get a message through to her, none of it matters anyway.
use mage hand to sweep out some sleeping area of some pine cones and squirrel shits.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can we set up an alarm or something so we can
Yeah,
all just pass out and not have to worry about?
but how far out should I make it?
Can we,
So it's either 1 mile or 30 feet.
from our position in the woods, can we hear like screaming and shit coming from the city? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go to sleep listening.
It's not super frequent, but you can tell that there are occasional skirmishes that sort of dust up, and the battle is over, but there are still pockets of resistance clearly that are trying to be swept out.
Sorry, 60 feet or 1 mile. 60 feet, you guys can't hear it.
Can we move down a little bit more so we're not?
Yes. Let's move down within 60 feet. I don't know what the difference is between saying it's within a mile or within 60 feet.
So if I set it to just me, I can hear it for, hold on. So if we want to go a wider radius to know if anything's coming, I would just be alerted to that. If we want to do it within 60 feet, you guys can also hear the alarm.
I don't need to hear it.
I don't need to hear it. I'm going to be the one who's...
But do
I
we
need, like,
want it
8
to go up
hours.
to 1 mile? Are we roughly within 1 mile of the city?
It would be almost an approximate exact about a mile.
Would
mean,
you
maybe
get
not-
just a random alarm for every time something...
Probably a
goes
little
through?
shy.
Or would you have specifics?
Maybe do it
Just tiny or large creature.
Just do it close by. And then...
maybe do like half a mile.
I can't do that.
It's not a variable.
Oh, got it.
That's set in
Well,
stone.
let's move down a little bit, and then you could do a mile, so it's not hitting the gate. and
But
whatnot.
I can set it so that things like humans don't ping.
Well, we've come across plenty of humans that want to kill us.
Well, I guess I can at least do wildlife.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going to get much sleep, I don't feel.
Yeah.
Well, you only need 4 hours, right?
Yeah, but I still need to get 4
I
hours.
only need 6, and it feels like a stretch to try to sleep in the woods right now after doing all
Let's
this, being this close.
move. And we'll move... How much further? Like 500, 600 feet? You need to be further?
No, let's just hike
Until-
for 15 minutes.
Yeah, until we can't hear it.
To a more
As much.
dense portion of the forest, if there is one.
And then I want to set up like a small area so we can nap under some brush and stuff, but not be so obvious.
You're using alarm, correct?
Yeah.
How long does alarm last? 8 hours?
8 hours.
Yeah.
Choose a door, window, or an area that is no larger than a 20-foot cube.
Yep. So just
you
where
probably
we're
just-
sleeping.
Find trees for you to wrap around. And I would like to do Song of Rest before I go to sleep.
Oh, good call.
Mhm.
All right. So we'll say that you guys find a suitable area, distancing yourself a little bit, cutting the glow of the burning city behind you down, putting a little bit more sound dampening pine needle between you and the still writhing screams of people trying to fight back and put up resistance, or those who are simply found and were not able to resist. Walker begins stringing the bell around the area.
I'd also, if possible, like to help with my Mask of the Wild ability, help Hara.
Okay. So we'll have you go ahead and make a survival check then at advantage. 28. Okay. So in relatively short order, you have stripped a couple of trees within a few hundred feet of sizably suitable branches, but still fresh and live enough to be pulled easily, but appearing as if they are live and well, created almost a makeshift bush that surrounds you in a unique circumference of sleeping area, well camouflaged, it would seem. Walker finishes his alarm casting, walking the perimeter, finishes Hara setting up the surrounding area, and ultimately you find yourselves ready for bed unless there's anything else you'd like to do.
Can we say I did my Song of Rest while they were both doing that?
Sure, yeah, okay.
You guys each get a D10 of HP.
For your, well, if you're rolling hit die.
Yeah.
That's only if you're rolling hit die.
Well, I
An
plan
extra
on doing
D10?
that.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Guess I'll see you guys at 8. And then we can.
Yeah, he's up in 4, I'm up in 6. So.
Yeah, and I'll just set it to make sure, like I said, no like deer or setting it off or rabbit or things like that.
Okay.
Things I know that are around, and then I'll roll hit dice.
And then when you guys wake up, if you want to send to boss to help.
Yeah.
Before I wake up. And then I think we can probably get a demon to help us open a portal.
Get a demon to help us open a portal.
And roll hit dice, or I gotta
You
wait.
open one,
Yeah.
but we'll figure that out when I wake up.
Okay. We'll talk about it when you wake up.
I want to quick curl up. I want to curl up around my egg, thinking of both Is and Skadi, and just quick thought to the Raven Queen to please watch over her. And I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
go to sleep.
Okay. Is anyone doing anything else before bed then?
Nope.
All right. Now, for the sake of brevity, then, we'll have you go ahead and roll your hit dice, but you all do wake up in the morning, seemingly without much issue having passed. However, Sproigins, you are jostled awake kind of right at the tail end of your sleep. Walker, you've already been up for a couple hours, sort of keeping an eye on the perimeter, waiting for everyone to finish their rest, when it seems like a large explosion emanates from the direction of the keep at Alan Tress.
Okay.
You're not really able to see anything specifically as far away as you are, and you've now settled into definitive nighttime. So it's probably just shy of midnight.
And it sounded like an explosion and not a crack from a portal opening?
Right.
Okay. Would I have gotten a full sleeps?
Yes.
Okay. Is there... We're still within the alarm, so I would like to go just a little bit to where I could maybe see the sky around it. Is it still kind of lit up orange and stuff?
Well, you can easily trace the eye to it just from the glow, even if you're not able to make out forms. And at this distance, you can certainly see the dancing fire, though that even itself seems to be somewhat diminished. But with that being the case, it almost seems like it's difficult to make out maybe specifics. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
19.
Okay. Hard as it is to make out the individual forms of the city on the black night, the combination of moonlight and fire seemed to illuminate in brief windows what you were able to make out as what seems to be a significant portion of the keep that is literally erupted and now spills through the wall of the exterior of the city.
Shit, like the keep toppled over?
Like the keep itself was blown up from the inside and a portion of it was propelled sideways, where the other portion it seems like maybe crumbled or was destroyed.
A lot of like, is there any like flying demons?
You're seeing some wisp, some reflections, but you're not really able to make. They could just as easily be bats or birds, and it's dark. And I'm gonna say you can't identify specifically what they might be, but
does it look like there's a lot of like possible flying creatures?
not that you're able to identify. No.
Okay. Do you think we should let Hara continue to? We'll let her continue to sleep, and when you're sending the messages, if you can, I'll try to keep an eye out for anybody.
We should do that now, so when she wakes up.
Right, yeah, we're ready to go. Okay, yeah, so you do that, and I'm gonna, shit, she has an eye. I'm gonna rifle through her bag to try to find the tiger's eye. Well, is it in your, it wouldn't matter, I'm gonna look through that.
Okay. I'm gonna say make a sleight of hand check. She went to sleep hugging it, so.
I went to sleep hugging my egg.
Which was in your bag, no?
In a backpack.
Oh.
A backpack and a bag of holding.
Okay, you make a concentration check then. All right, go ahead and make a stealth check, we'll say.
Oh, this is great. That's fine. I'm great at stealth.
Concentration?
Yep.
12?
13. Okay. You find her bag, but you do hear rustling near your form and are awoken briefly to see Sproigins going through your stuff. Hara doesn't seem to mind.
Yeah. Do I find it in the bag?
You've seen her pull it out enough. You know essentially where it ends up when it is in there. I would say yes. You were able to without too much issue.
And I've used it, so I would kind of like, what is it? Oh, it's a sword. No. All right. So then I will let her continue to sleep, and while Walker's doing the message, then I will throw the tiger's eye up and keep it up there as long, just kind of scanning to see what I can see going on around the keep.
So you're going straight up?
Yeah.
Okay. So at a much higher vantage point, you're able to see that there are specific sections of the interior wall that appear destroyed. There's a large central open courtyard that appears to be devoid of these burning fires and sort of the crumbled buildings, largely because there was not much structure there to begin with. But the reason your eye is drawn to it is because, similar to almost a pillar of fire, a stretched out oblong circle, there's this burning ring in the central courtyard of the city that appears to be given a bit of a birth surrounding the other fires and chaos that seems to be going on still.
Does it look big enough for a large creature?
It's difficult for you to identify how big specifically it might be, but your approximate estimation using the tiger eye, it could be anywhere from 30 to 50 feet maybe.
Shit. That lets out a lot of demons.
It seems as if this portal would have been designated for invasion, not simply just transport.
Right. All right.
I will try sending a message to Skadi.
Okay. What are you going to try and send?
I'm going to, is it a written message?
Nope. You communicate telepathically.
I'm going to say, Skadi, we are coming. Do you know what level of hell you are on? Where you are? Who's with you? We will find you. And I will wait for a response to see if I did the spell right.
Okay. So, Skadi, as you watch Livis, leaving your cell in your ant form. You see him tiptoeing and floppy footing away. Down the hallway as he said he would. And you now find yourself alone in this dark black stone room. What happens next?
I'm gonna crawl towards the door.
Okay.
Towards the door.
Mm-hmm.
How long do I think it would take me to get to the door as an ant?
Probably just a minute or so, maybe a little less. But you're a very small ant. 5 feet is a very long gap for a small
Do I
ant.
see anyone in the room with me?
Make a perception check using an ant statistics.
I don't have an ant statistics.
I can try to pull it up quick. If they've made that. I don't know if that's a statted creature. Statted beast.
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
Do you like answers somewhat?
Probably in a group.
Yeah, ant is not a... What would be a similar beast?
I think we use the giant ant statistics and cut everything by like 90%. So, we'll say go ahead and roll a perception check -3.
7.
Okay.
I rolled a 10.
So you don't see anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, it's -1 to begin with for a giant ant.
Just saying a giant spider is 0. Anyway, okay. Well then I'm
As you have
he's got lots of
changed
eyes.
into a giant spider, then, that would have been a whole separate deal.
Yeah, but there's a reason I turned into an ant. Okay, I'm gonna go over... How close am I to a wall?
Well, you originally crept specifically to a wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna kind of slink up next to the wall and I'm going to drop form.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and listen for the direction Livis is going.
Okay.
Is he heading the same way as my stuff?
Since you already had a good bead on the direction based on your original check during the previous session, I will say go ahead and make this check at advantage to verify your original thoughts.
22.
22. He appears to be, yes. There is still difficulty in actually isolating off the echoey walls and the rumbling of the sort of continual sense of fire that is surrounding you on almost a permanent basis. The walls themselves are kind of smoky, and now that you are in your normal form and you're no longer affixed to this obelisk, you actually find your feet are hot and burning. Very difficult to walk. But as you are able to sort of dial in and focus, concentrating on, it seems as if Livis, for at least the immediate senses and from what little you can recall, is headed the same direction.
I'm gonna look around on the floor, and is there like dust or anything anywhere?
The floor itself almost gives off a certain smoky steam. Anything that is organic matter, it seems like, would not be collecting dust as much as it would be sort of baked away into nothingness.
Into ash, perhaps?
No, not that hot.
Okay. Just looking for some ash.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
What would you like to do?
Skadi is going to try and calm herself. She has a mission. I'm going to kind of rub my chest.
Okay.
Do I feel it?
It seems to still be there.
Okay. I want to look around the room and see if I can find anything sharp.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Nope, this is going to be in this dice. It's a 10.
10. On top of probably purposefully being devoid of implements that could be used against them, on top of the fact that this appears to be some kind of decidedly secure area to a certain extent, you do not locate anything that you feel would function as a weapon or cutting implement.
Okay, I want to listen outside the door. Do I hear anything?
Don't seem to at the moment.
Okay, I want to peek out.
Okay. Peek out. Look both ways. To your left, you can kind of identify a slight bubbling sound that maybe would mimic the lava pit that you were brought in and teleported to when you originally landed on the bridge that Rectus walked the opposite way on. To your right, just the faint tick in a rhythmic pattern that you can almost probably assume is the last faint echoing remnant of whatever footsteps you can hear. But you don't see anybody.
I'm going to... I don't have any ash. I'm going to try and follow the footsteps as stealthily as I can.
Make a stealth check.
And while I am doing this, I would like to keep an eye out for something sharp.
Okay.
16. Oh, wait. Actually, I think my stealth is straight. Nope, it's not. 18.
18. Okay. Now, where are you going now?
I'm going to follow the direction that I thought I heard them take my stuff, as well as the direction I think Libus is going.
Okay. So, as you now step out into this hallway, this black stone, obsidian, slated carve-out of rocky floor, you hear like a steak going on a hot pan, your foot sort of burning a bit as you take a step. Stealing your nerve, you continue to move forward until it almost seems like the feeling in your feet goes away completely. But you can still hear. You move up to the first barricaded corner, peeking around carefully. Don't see anything. Move forward up into the next area. And it seems as if you're starting to hear faint whimpers and cries and screams. Probably more humanoid than animal.
That's what I'm looking for.
Right. But there is very much some sort of... the area you're in is specifically designed to house a very specific type of activity, and it seems like Libus's office is reserved for more seasoned veterans where maybe some training of less experienced motivators is taking place, or something to that effect. It sounds inherently more guttural, inherently more visceral, but is altogether sort of retching. What would you like to do?
Continue. Still keeping an eye out for something sharp.
Okay. As you are moving forward, hearing some of these cries and taking slow steps forward and listening, you're distracted long enough for just a moment. You now see that in the next room, slightly illuminated by a burning torch, is one of these little 1.5 foot tall sort of goblinoid demon creatures that is sitting with his back to you and appears to be vibrating and jostling, chewing on something that you're not able to see.
And it looks like he's alone in the room.
It would seem.
I want to sneak in closer to that room.
Okay, I'm going to have you make another stealth check, actually.
Dun, 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 dun,
He's actually
dun,
distracted.
dun, dun, dun.
21.
21.
Hitman style.
So you continue moving forward slowly. The screams of the people apparently in rooms you're even walking by kind of bleed out and echo into it. Using the cries as subtle masks, knowing that there are likely motivators just within. Using those to mask your footsteps, you continue to step forward until you are just right behind this small creature. And you get a message. The message from Walker.
Say it again.
Skadi, we are coming. Do you know what circle of hell you are on? Where? Who's with you? We will find you.
How many letters or how many words do I have again? 25?
25 words to respond.
And it's telepathic. I don't actually say this out loud, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, I'm going to pause for a brief second.
Just monkey locks the little demon. I think I'm in hell.
Shit is hot. Snap.
Yep. Piano wire.
Got it pretty much covered though.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking garrotes his ass.
The Mr. Bean fatality.
Found piano wire. Doing okay.
Yeah. All of this joking with the torture screams right in the background.
Yeah. Just comes out here, Skadi Nielsen and shit, and just
Bam. Where's the car door? I just need a car door. Give me an approximation. We don't need
Okay,
an
so
exact
I'm with
here.
Livus.
You're...
No. This is my message.
Oh, okay.
It sounded like a question.
Yeah.
I'm with Livus.
Okay.
This is hell. Hot. Brimstone. They have is. I'm going for him.
Okay.
That's probably like 16.
Sure. All right. So, you all are sitting there, and after a few brief moments of pause, you hear back this definitive confirmation, if you will, from Skadi that she is, in fact, in the hells, it would seem. And apparently her captors have taken Is.
Roof. She awake? It's been 8. For how long?
Well, you said you did it right
How
after.
long did
It
I
was
have to
only
wait?
Yeah, so she'd still be asleep.
it was only 6 when, like roughly around 6.
How long
when,
did I have to wait for the message?
It's probably just a minute.
Okay. She's alive.
Based on that session that we did, do you understand the timeline now?
Yeah.
When you were out?
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Seemed what it
that
was
makes
like.
sense for her.
They got this though. And it sounds like she's free, but she's going after him.
All right. Well, she can turn into a whole lot of different shit, so
When
it's not really Skadi I'm concerned about.
she also mentioned Livus, so
That's not the big ugly one, right?
right, that's the
small ugly one.
small ugly one.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Perhaps since
we can deal with small uglies.
Hara, that's her brother, perhaps she knows where his work is done.
Probably. Just let her sleep, though.
Yeah.
All right. Can you send that other message
To who?
to my dad? To Eric Foss? Spillion.
Yeah.
You met him the once.
Okay. I mean, I'll try.
All right. That's all I need.
Do you have something written out for me?
Yes, sure. Here.
Take this.
Yeah. Here it is.
All right.
It's dangerous to go alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try it. Spillion. Voss.
No.
Whatever.
Very Walker way to do this.
Your wife and son need you. Be the man Sproigins knows you to be. Protect her. She should be near Alantress.
Why did you read it like that? Why did I write that? I would never write anything like that.
So part of the spell requires some different enunciation. So
Got it.
Yes.
You didn't do it like that with Skadi. You didn't talk very weird.
Well, so I have a very strong connection with Skadi, and I was able to just mind.
You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. That's fair.
Okay, so you sit in silence for probably just another minute or so, and you do receive a message back right away. He has to read it weird to you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting something.
Don't ever say that.
Sproigins.
Yes.
He says, I'm with her now. I'm with her always. Tell my son I will be with him again soon. My days of hiding are over.
Oh. Okay, but can you send another message? I just don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I feel locked in now.
What do you think he means by I'm with her and with her always? Is that like he's not I need him to physically be there.
Is your mom your dad?
I'm gonna walk away.
That's right.
You've met both of them. Don't be stupid. In a quieter voice to not wake up.
But isn't your family changelings?
What do you think my mom and my dad are the same person? Is that what you just said to me, and now you expect to...
Well, should we see what happens if I send a message to your mom?
Sure, if you would like to use a spell.
I mean, it's up to you.
Are you going to be weird to her? She likes you. Don't make her not like you. She's going to send... If you're weird, she's going to send you to your room.
If you would like to send a message, you just write it out, and I will do that if that is necessary.
Okay, you send the message, and I'll tell you what to say. Okay.
Trying to cast
Eldra. It's Sproigins' friend Walker.
It's Sproigins, Walker's friend.
This is. Are you safe and with Eric Voss?
Are you safe with Eric Voss?
If you respond, please be brief and to the point.
If you respond to this message, do it briefly.
Dictated but not read. Sproigins say Talos.
Send.
If you get a message back, don't be... Just tell me what it says regular.
Tell my Sproggy that his father's friend Eric is helping flee Allentress. Oh, and be safe, and don't eat too much meat. And he shouldn't.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. All right, everybody's great. Thank you.
Yes. You are welcome.
While we have time to kill,
yeah.
Can I have the crown?
Which crown?
Your king crown.
But you're not a king. Are you a king?
Shit.
Aren't you a king of 2 feet?
You don't remember what happened to us in the Shadowfell, right? No, it was the Fae. In the Shadowfell, you promised me your fucking crown.
I did?
Yeah.
Well, here it is, but you...
Thank you.
Can't use it.
Sure I can. Look at me. Using it.
Well, that's one way of going about it.
Okay, so we'll say then, for the sake of brevity, unless you want something to do with the crown specifically.
No.
He
just put me through enough anguish that I want my crown now.
Okay. You eventually wake up.
Thank you.
About 1:32 in the morning.
And I've also changed from Dawnfang to the Scimitar of Speed.
Okay.
Can I roll for the armor?
Yeah. So what do you guys want to do?
Hara, Skadi's alive.
Fuck yes.
She,
I failed. I was gonna use luck, but
it sounds like
I got a 6.
That is a fail.
she is loose,
Okay.
but she is trying to get Is because they've taken him. And she mentioned your brother,
Livus.
Livus. Do you know?
What do you mean she mentioned him?
She mentioned that Livus was there. Do you know where Livus
She said it was hot.
works from? Yeah.
Hot,
she's-
brimstone.
So they're probably on the 4th circle, I would assume. Do I know of any other hell that would be similar to?
Yeah. A third of the hells would theoretically qualify, if not almost half.
Do you know how many of them Livus worked on?
I don't know a lot about his work. I mean, he didn't talk about it with me. Would I have any idea of where they would normally be located? Or where his base would be?
I mean,
Or was when?
the chain all works out of the 4th.
Okay.
The entirety of the structure that you're aware of is going to be based out of there. Now, you do know that demons on the 4th circle, Phlegethos, happen to share some things in common with demons on the 6th circle, and there's kind of a same but different type of vibe that they have a similar interest, similar circumstances, very different motivations. So you know that there's not a lot of overlap or universal participation, especially considering each circle kind of has its own hierarchy. So it's almost a very violently political separation. But beyond that, you wouldn't have a lot of insight beyond the 4th plane, or the 4th circle. But that's, for the most part, everyone you knew growing up, and a lot of their overall functions would have only taken place there to begin with.
Would I have any idea about where in the 4th circle it would be? Like, was I ever advised of, like, the
you'd
general...
be able to navigate specific areas and sections. So the large congregate sort of city structure that you are familiar with, the large sort of cliff face type of dwelling over of the boiling pit of lava, kind of separated the divide between their more soldier class demons. Not an area you'd be familiar beyond that, but...
Where was I kept before I left with the necklace?
It would have been in there, in the large cliff face city dwelling carved out of the molten rock.
That sounds fucking tight. Out of game sounds tight.
Yeah.
In game sounds not tight.
Yeah.
Sounds, yeah.
So we can somewhat narrow it down, but we still have the problem of getting there.
Well, the demons are opening up portals. Let's find one and make them open up a portal.
Well,
I don't know if they still are.
So, well, I can use up until an hour and something ago, there was a big ass portal open right in the city.
Giant portal?
Humongous portal.
Okay.
Was anything coming out?
Not that I could see, but it's large enough for a lot of uglies.
When I escaped, this cord that's on my necklace, I think helped me get there. So maybe we can hijack a portal and use that to take us to where I think Skadi's at.
All right.
And if we can't hijack one, maybe being Livus's sister can get someone to be afraid enough to open it up.
I mean, at this point, my mom is safe. I am
go.
ready to go. I feel much better about fighting Rectus now if that has to happen. And I definitely feel okay with fighting your brother as long as you're okay with it.
I mean, he's fucking terrifying. Obex will kill you.
Right. Doesn't mean
Livus won't.
Doesn't mean that you want them dead.
I hate Livus.
Doesn't mean you want someone dead if you hate somebody.
Let's go save our friends.
All right, Walker, you're a good dude. I used prestidigitation to clean your crown for you while we waited for Hara to wake up.
Oh, Sproigins, it's yours.
I don't want your fucking crown. I'm not a king. Put it on your head. Do some king shit.
Okay. Well,
all right. So
this is kind of flamboyant in terms of. I just feel so different with all this shininess on me. Anyways, okay. Should we do anything to prepare for this being a suicide mission?
well, my mind is prepared.
Do we need to send messages to anyone? Do we need to do anything to maybe help this cause in case we fall?
Everybody that I know is in Crinden or safe with, hopefully, my dad. Or they're dead.
So are we heading for the portal then?
Yes. Do we have anything that explodes?
I
Or
make
can
people's
anybody
heads explode.
dispel magic?
Yes, I can now.
Just trying to think if there's any way to shut that portal down after we go through it.
That is a big fucking portal. That is going to be a
Maybe we can
heavy
do it on the
use
other
of-
side. Whatever. We'll figure that out later. Let's go.
We still don't quite know how these portals work.
I hope that you just step through them and they take you where you want to go. That's what.
Cool.
That's how we got to the Fae in the first place.
Do we have flu powder? I'm just kidding. I'm okay.
Who about it? Okay, pack up all my shit. We're gonna have to walk there.
It is right in the center of the city.
No, I mean, like, how far away are we from the city walkways?
Just over a mile now.
Yep.
How long will that take us?
I mean, not too terribly long. You can probably do it in about 15 minutes.
Guess we don't have to be sneaky just yet.
Maybe there's
check
other
on that.
portals.
I mean, I could use that ability, but if we get into
Save all of what we have left
hells,
for the hells.
But if we do find Skadi, then we should be able to get out of there.
If
Yeah.
she can plane us out, yes.
Yeah. Well, shit. What is it like there? Is
It's
everything on? Well, that's fine. We went through a desert. That was hot. But like, is everything on fire? Are we all gonna catch on fire except for you walking in there? I don't want to spontaneously combust.
Well,
that would be not a good way to
Skadi's an
go.
iceborn, and she was still talking to me, so she must have either figured something out or must be okay.
Yeah. Well,
It's just like being inside a volcano. It's fine.
I've
go.
literally never been inside a volcano, but I'm right there with you, and I'll follow you.
All right. So you all begin setting out from the
Stealthily.
tree line. Let's get stealth checks from you
Pass
guys.
without a trace, since it's good for an hour.
Okay.
27.
But I roll at disadvantage because of my armor.
35.
Hera, where'd you go?
26.
26. Yeah.
Damn, you
And I
rolled with
wanna-
disadvantage and you got one less than I did.
Want to keep a side eye out for any demons who are around
Plus 10.
while we're
we'll do.
booking it to the area.
You're going to be able to sneak, or you're going to be able to check, or your speed's going to fall even further?
Check for traps!
I can't keep like a glance out. I don't want to be searching just like
Well, then it is
Passive.
noted. You're keeping a glance.
Yeah. I'm just, if I happen to see one go by.
Here,
Gotcha.
The tiger's eye. I took it out of your bag while
I
you
can
were
do
sleeping.
stuff
Thank you.
while sneaking at the same time.
Yeah, I suppose that's true too. So you can examine for traps or make perception checks if you'd
I
like
mean,
to.
I imagine.
I just want to keep an eye out for a demon because if we can find one before getting all the way there.
Shit, do you need to get your wire for your alarm?
Sure.
Yeah, so
I mean, I have
Walker
a necklace.
collects his
I have
wire.
A necklace now, so
That, like, you hold it and it
I don't-
slurps in all
I don't
the...
know if it's a magic wire or what. I'll figure that out.
Yeah,
by
we'll
next
say it's
session.
magic wire for now. Sure.
Okay.
Get some of that.
Yeah, he has a focus, so it's on a fishing reel, and he just flies it back in. All right. So you all begin making your way stealthily, creeping over the slightly rolling terrain up towards the city. You find yourselves closing in on the wall of the city, or the wall finds itself closing in on you as it sort of spills out into the surrounding grasslands, and you're sort of sidestepping small chunks of rubble as you're also going through the process of trying to completely work out what you might be able to see. You all get within about, we'll say 100 feet. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
Damn, just rolling top notch tonight, bitch.
15.
18.
24.
24. So, as you are sort of examining and looking around, you two are preoccupied with the dancing fire, watching your footing over the spilled rocks. But Hara, who decided to keep an eye out, you see that there is a number of reddish, purplish skinned creatures that you can see darting in between these destroyed columns that appear to have been supports for a building that once stood just 100 feet beyond, and sort of dancing off the backdrop. You almost are hearkened back to your time growing up in the Hells to recognize not only the creatures that you would see, but also the lighting conditions and what you would see them, and almost like deja vu, recognize. You see a pair of bearded devils that appear to be heading west across the city in sort of animalistic fashion, seemingly not noticing you. You're all continuing to get close, and the sounds of the wilderness fade away to be replaced with the sounds of gently burning fire with the city collapsed around you. And your move is yours to make from there.
Do bearded devils, do I know anything about them and the ability to plane shift or open portals?
Generally, they would not possess any definitively powerful arcane implements.
That was my assumption.
But they would be part of any rank and file, and in theory, if it was open for them, could travel through any portal without issue.
There's like bearded devils. They're going that way, so just
There's
look
like
out.
literally like devils with beards.
To a certain extent, they're sort of long, metallic, snaky beards that they can almost wield as weapons in close quarters, and they tend to fight very humanoid in style. They're very strong, but overall, they're not necessarily the most powerful demon. They're very much a minion type of demon.
If I kind of peek my head through, are we up against like wall where
Still
there's
about
like
100 feet away, approaching from behind broken rubble and scattered stone and things of that nature.
If she points him out, can I see him?
They're pretty interior to the city, so I'll say that they're still too obstructed for you to be able to witness. But all things being equal, you can still hear the footsteps and a number of the moving parts that kind of suggest there are people nearby.
I don't want to fight anybody before we get in there.
We can't. We have to be as stealthy as possible.
Well, it's pretty...
Now, Skadi, as you all approach the wall, Skadi, you convey your message back to the group, and now see this tiny goblinoid creature standing down there in front of you, chewing on some sort of bony type structure in front of you.
I snuck up behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Mama bearing out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to try and snap his neck.
Okay. So you reach down, grab this creature by the back of his form, and in this shock and surprise fit, his arms fly up and you see this almost humanoid skull kind of spin and fall, rolling off into the corner. Ah! And he pulls out a dagger from the inside of his leather waistband goes to swing, but is secured by the nape as you got him by surprise. Go ahead and roll a grapple check there for me. Athletics or, no, this would be an athletics check for you. But you're at advantage. You have the drop on him.
First roll was better.
He's not particularly strong as is, but...
You said athletics?
Yeah.
21.
Okay. You rolled a 3. So he's... But as the dagger is swinging towards you, you see it swing wide, cutting directly in front of your face, and the tickling of your eyelashes as the blade comes across your field of view. You find yourself sort of hearkened away. Immediately, the world around you fades to green. And the black and red is replaced by the subtle tones of the forest. And you see a familiar face. Blue skin, scraggly blue hair off the sides, walking with a cane, shawl around him, wolf at his side. Skadi! Where have you been? You do not look well. Are you okay?
Charles?
Oh, of course, Troust. Wait, am I Troust? Yeah, still me, I believe. Yep. Excellent. Yes, definitely Troust. Yes. What is the matter with you?
I'm in hell?
Oh, well, we've all been there.
No, literally. And I need to save my companion.
Oh, my goodness. Dear child, dear child. When I talked to you about bonding with my wolf, do you remember what I had said? To put yourself in another creature, to accept them as part of you. It is no small thing. Come. And he turns and begins kind of quick shuffling away and takes you 10 feet forward in this forest that feels crisp and cool. Brings you to a sickly looking tree. No. Do you remember? Become one with nature. Become one with the world around you. Do you remember this? Okay. Do you think I was ready to die when I did? Do you know why?
I wasn't ready to lose you.
Watch. And you see him begin to conjure a spell, and the sick, twisted tree begins to burst into flames. You could nurse the tree. You could provide water. You could help it grow and bring it back. You could do a number of things, but look. And as he pushes through the bark of the tree, the exterior crumbles to ash, and he pulls out what appears to be a shiny, bright red, untarnished apple. Some things must be burned away for you to lay new seed. That is the secret. Nothing is destroyed. You just plant a new seed. And he holds out the apple to you. Now, you are clearly very busy. You're always very busy, even as a child, running all over the place. Thank goodness you grew out of that. I have additional animals that I'm sure miss me. I'm going to spend some time with them, and it will take me a while to get there, so I should leave. You should also leave. You have much to do. Don't drop the apple. You'll need it. And you see him start to slowly cane himself away, and as your vision fades back into red, you see, looking at your hand, completely drenched in blood, now holding a dagger, decimated body of a small demon below you. Back where you once were moments ago, it seems.
How big was the demon?
Probably just 1.5 feet or so tall, very tiny.
Yeah, any armor I can take?
I mean, you could have his little loincloth.
Can I carry anything in his little loincloth? Because I have nowhere to put this apple. For perspective, I'm naked.
Yeah, you don't actually have an apple.
Just a dagger. Oh, it was the dagger.
It's pretty clear with that, yeah.
Well, I'm just,
Well, hey, you have a sharp thing now.
I do have a sharp thing now.
Mom
And
needs your copy.
I'm in a room by myself, correct?
You are.
Okay. Is there a door? I assume not.
No. Well, of course, there's no doors.
Right, yeah,
There's
door.
an
That's what I was
open
asking.
hallway that you entered in through and 2 offshoots.
Okay.
A T intersection of a room, if you will.
I'm gonna close my eyes. And I'm gonna kneel down on the ground. And rub. I'm gonna take the dagger. I'm gonna start cutting into my chest.
Okay. Make a Constitution check for me.
$15.
Okay.
14. Sorry, 14.
So you dig in. How much health are you at?
10.
Oh, okay. So that won't be that bad. You begin carving, and you cut through the first layer of flesh and tear a little bit more as you peel away. Barely able to look, but forced to stick the dagger in deeper and begin to pry until you hear it click. And then rip the blade out abruptly, falling on the ground, blood gushing from your chest, and a tiny black scale tumbles to the ground in front of you.
Pick it up. Still holding on to the dagger. Yeah. How big is it? Like this big, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna kiss it. And I'm gonna say, Mama's coming. And I'm gonna pray to Telcher.
Okay. You kiss the small scale. The moisture of the blood sort of felt on your lips as you pull it away. You feel this invisible hand kind of fall onto your shoulder. You hear the echoing of a cane sort of rhythmically stepping through, almost as if it was walking directly in front of you, but apparition of nothingness. And as you stare at the small black scale, you see it begin to break, crumble in your hand till it looks almost like it's a fine powder. And you see a massive flame spring from it, and your hand resembling a campfire of sorts, focusing, standing still. You see the flame now begin to spread and consume, and as it walks across each line and crevice in your hand, you see your skin turn black And as it continues to crawl up, scales like molten cool rock begin to pop out of your form. The pain is excruciating. You bend over for a moment, your hair covering your face, and as it does, you see the blue fade from red to vibrant orange and yellow before it too loses physical shape and begins to dance like fire. Eyes completely closed, the heat of the hells no longer seeming to affect you. Looking down at your form like some kind of transformed creature with pockets of broken rock skin that now secrete small oozing magma like your new veins. You now hear sort of these whispering twists of swirling fiery noises in your brain. And as you begin to stand up, you feel a renewed sense of self and power. Not like you know power when you're at your most, but something carnal, something more baser. And before you can bring yourself to open your eyes to take in the entirety of your new form, the ringing echo, the click that forces your eyes open. It's a good boy. And your eyes open, and a new yellow sheen covers everything you see. And you now see fire dancing off the sides of your cheeks, out of the corners of your eye. And you begin taking your next steps forward. And that's where we're going to take our first break.
Wow, dude. I just imagine Skadi just looking over this goblin like as he's just scrolling through his pictures.
So we're going to get back to that in just a sec. But before we do, we're going to see if maybe our rescuers down under are going to be able to find their way into a...
Oh, I'm finna 5-alone them.
I mean, that is a thing. So we're going to take a very short break. Thank you, everybody who's hanging out. Please make sure you like, follow, subscribe.
That like button.
If you do subscribe, we have custom badges for you in chat. Custom emotes for you to use. Walker's face. Do the face. That's not the face.
I don't know what it is.
He doesn't feel well, so...
Yeah. So do the subscribes, do the follows, do all that stuff. We will be back in no time whatsoever. Sort of, shortly, and we'll be getting into what I have to imagine is going to be the meat and potatoes of all shit. So, stick around. We will be right back. Pew pew!
You some sort of ice fire creature.
Fucking mama dragon.
I'm gonna roll.
Are back. For those of you just joining, Finger Guns, after the heels of taking quite the beating at the hands of Rectus the Destroyer, found themselves down one party member, seemingly absconded to the hells.
I mean, we made him run away.
Yeah.
That is
We did.
100% one way to look at that. However, in running away, he also managed to grab one of the party members of the group, Skadi, and was brought to the hells to be tortured by demons. After a sequence of negative experiences, Skadi found herself freed from her immediate shackles, all the while the group plotting and scheming as to how to infiltrate the hells in a rescue attempt to try and coordinate some means of rejoining themselves together. The group sent some messages to ensure that the people they were concerned about were kept safe and that they requested whatever help they could. Meanwhile, Skadi, free from her bonds, began navigating the hells, trying to locate her child's companion creature, Is.
He's a good boy.
After walking through several hallways, she came across a lone, scattered demon who was seemingly gnawing on some lying around humanoid bones. And after a brief vision with Troust, one of her final lessons about creature bonding and tying to nature, Skadi snapped back to her reality in the hells to find that she had destroyed this demon single-handedly, yielded his knife, and began cutting into her chest to reveal a small black scale, seemingly a component to a very old and very unique casting. Skadi's form then shifted into a molten, igneous, hardened form, vastly and drastically different from her own, while the group continued to push towards the edge of the now crumbling Alantress walls in an attempt to secure passageway through a still open portal that it seems as if the demons had originally used to invade. Now, we are picking up just outside the walls of Alantress, the city still ablaze, and the group slowly making their way towards the outer exterior. What happens next?
Let's just sneak to the portal, right?
Right.
I mean,
What?
It's a big ass portal in the center of the, like right in the courtyard.
We're up against the wall now?
Still 100 feet away if you'd like to move in.
Is there debris and stuff along here and there?
Yeah, I mean, there's scattered pieces of wall crumbled and scattered throughout the entirety of the rolling terrain surrounding the northern perimeter of the wall.
And we still have passed without a trace?
You do.
For an hour.
Okay.
Okay. So.
Let's at least get up to the wall.
All right.
Yeah. So we could try to sneak to the portal.
See if there's a closer portal.
Yeah. We could surrender.
Fuck no.
And we would probably be brought to wherever Skadi was brought.
Yeah, what if they take all
At
our
a disadvantage.
shit?
Or
What if they take all our shit and lock us up?
Was there, I mean, we've been through this before.
Yeah, it took you forever to get out of a thing, and I can barely cast magic with my hands shackled. Let's not do that.
Okay. Well, we could just...
We go in, we use the big portal, we use a small portal, or we force a demon to open a portal for us. And we get Skadi.
What demons open portals?
Not those bearded guys, but...
All right, well, let's do what you said. Let's sneak up to the wall at least.
We're gonna sneak up to the wall. First, before we bounce there, I want to look around. Are anybody focusing our way, or is there anybody like... like those guys that we...
We'll use your original perception check for this, and it seems as if the two individuals you saw are no longer in sight, and whatever portion of the city that you have crept upon, it seems as if the bulk of the fighting is no longer taking place in this specific area. So the individuals you're finding in this particular area are going to be either stragglers, people with specific intent to not be part of the main push, and it seems as if the fighting is still going on, as it woke you briefly in the middle of the night, right after you had awoken. Seems to be moving from the eastern portion of the city where you originally fought Rectus, and it seems as if maybe the westernmost portion of the city is on the edge of finally falling. They're sweeping across and removing anything they find, it seems.
Go to the east side.
Go where they're coming from.
All right.
We stealth towards the east side.
Yeah.
On the interior or exterior of the wall?
Maybe just the exterior for right now to get a look in.
Because they're taking care of the inside.
Can we still see the big ass portal from here?
Now that you are close, you can see it protruding above some of the broken structured skyline. It seems as if it is still open.
Could just try flying in.
Well, we don't want to be seen. We'll go around the outside. Make our way inside, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's a broken wall somewhere we can get through.
Oh, there's a big fucking broken wall.
Let's do this thing.
I will cast Pass Without a Trace if and when necessary. So.
Okay. Well, you guys just cast it not that long ago.
Right, but if this takes a while.
Sure. Well, moving stealthily, slowly, cautiously.
Let me know.
You are walking along the entirety of the broken wall, and you are seeing a number of different broken variations within its overall structure. You actually see portions that are either cannonballed or completely broken out through some kind of destructive, invasive devices, but you also see almost as if there was a bowling ball of flesh. There is a portion you come across where there is a massive gap in the wall, and limbs and body parts strewn out in a cone shape from where this gap in the wall exists. Some type of designed mechanism. You would have theoretically maybe been able to liken this to things you had heard, perhaps not seen. But now being able to put the pieces together, you recognize this as likely being a flesh firecracker. They would put...
I didn't really know what those were.
I don't want to know about it. Don't tell Sproigins.
They would put a number of resistors, those who meant to be imprisoned, chain them together in a catapult and then put an explosive between them before they propelled them forward. It seems as if the people of the city are being used to destroy the city itself. And there's a large hole in the section of this wall, and up ahead, probably just another couple few hundred yards, you see a massive section of scattered wall that actually arcs up due to its massive amount of rubble included. This would be the area where you see the keep spill out and destroy the northern wall of the city.
Is this where we're going in? Let's go in.
Well, let's look in first.
Well, yeah.
Let's just go in.
Yeah.
So
Any movement we take from here till we get Skadi and come back will always be make sure there's no danger, then move forward. There.
Okay, so you all begin to peek around. We'll have everyone go ahead and roll a perception check here.
She's gonna roll on this.
Yeah, 31.
15.
19.
Okay, so as you're both about to step in to take a peek, you feel a quick tug as Hara grabs both of your armor by the back of the collar, holds you still for a brief moment, as it seems like there are a number of large insectoid-like creatures, probably standing closer to 9-10 feet tall, almost like praying mantises, but of an icy blue, wielding massive spears. You hear this clicking noise, these large, black, empty eyes looking your way as this praying mantis face zeroes in on the gap in the wall. You see the two forms walk closer to the gap. Hugging up against the wall, you see sort of these mantis-like jowls protrude through. And they seemingly turn around and head the other way.
Did we fight something similar to that in the Beastlands?
No.
Okay.
This is just the mini he had to use.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if that was just the mini or...
Could not be more opposite, actually. So, they seemingly continue on, turning back inward and heading east towards where you originally fought Rectus. Moving against the grain, to a certain extent, it would seem.
How far away is the giant portal?
It's going to be in the center of the city, directly in the courtyard that would have been in front of what was the Alantress Keep. You'd be looking at a few hundred yards.
And is there any other portals around? Or is that the only one that we can see?
It's the only one you see from where you are.
I could.
Does that cost anything?
Yes.
No.
Save it. We see a big ass one.
It would cost us the ability to use it when we're in the house.
Yeah, don't use it here.
Yeah, save it. We see one.
Let's
We
friggin'
just-
sneak our way that way.
It's possible there is a smaller one nearby, but this is the only one it seems like that was inherently meant for a large force.
But ultimately, we get Skadi or we don't come back, right?
Right?
So why do I need...
Because what if she can't?
And what if that power that you're using now could be used for something else? It's not only for the checking for portals, right?
No, it's only for checking for portals.
Oh, that's its only purpose.
The closest portal.
So you don't, that power you'd be using could not be used for literally anything else.
Correct.
Well, I mean, if its only purpose is
What
that...
if by the time we get there, Skadi is not alive?
We'll figure it out then. We need to go and make sure that that doesn't happen.
Right.
So let's do that now. Go ahead and use it. That's just your spell casting now.
So,
was Taylor's
direction
also.
and distance of the closest portal.
Yes. So, as you're focused on this large column of fire that seems to be 40 or so feet into the sky, probably a good 12 or so feet wide. Now that you're able to sort of look and identify it closer, you're staring directly at it. You tap into the ethereal plane, expecting for that pull to bring you directly to the courtyard. But it seems as if a stronger pull comes from east, slightly back the way you came, perhaps. Only 100 or so feet, likely not as big, but closer to the wall.
There's a closer portal.
Let's do this.
It's smaller, so it should be a little bit less obvious.
Okay, these are like when the was she able to tell us that these are like kind of icy looking things?
I mean, you all saw them.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I did or not. So there's a chance that these things are coming from a different part, right? That maybe these things come out of a smaller portal that go to the ice hell
True.
shit or whatever.
But my necklace, I'm hoping this cord will help us use the portal to get to the right place. Kind of like how the flower and the shadow thing did for when we went to the Fae the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how any of this works. I literally have no idea how any of this works, but like...
I am more inclined to go to the smaller portal. I feel like we would walk into a staging area for an invading army.
Yeah, I agree. This is
All
more
right.
likely not to be in the midst of...
But who knows, Sproigins, but
Fuck it. Let's go to the small portal
It's
then.
a suicide mission anyways.
No, it's not. That's
It's a
stupid
rescue
thing to
mission.
say. We can't go die and rescue somebody. We have to stay alive.
Well, we're either going to be alive or we're going to die.
Well,
'cause
we're all
not
alive
gonna
That's
When I
come
every
back
day, man. That's
without
every day. Let's
Skadi.
just do this thing.
I'm just waiting for you guys to go. This shit makes me
Okay.
too nervous to go
Well, I'm
first.
going first then.
Well-
Make sure there's nothing around, and I'm going to
Which
stealth
portal are
through.
you heading to?
I
then?
would like to describe the ping that I got in the general direction and all of that. So you can lead, and I'll do my best to
Direct me.
direct you when necessary.
I'm going to the small one.
All right. So I'm going to have all of you roll another stealth check here.
Oh, disadvantage.
Let me get the plus 10.
Yep.
Yep.
You guys haven't been moving too long yet.
39.
Oh, 30 over here.
23.
You're
Disadvantage.
clinking.
I mean, it's still almost 100 total.
Yep.
Natural 1 and a 5.
Good for them.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
F them bugs.
They're just
Or-
chit-chatting about, yeah, we
know, but
screwed this place up real good. Can't
said
wait
it
to
was the
eat some
bug.
people. That's not a bug voice. That's just a bad guy voice.
yeah, that's like the Family Guy cockroach voice. Like,
Yeah.
It would just hit. Wish I not stab you so bad. All right, so you begin moving through, navigating forward, finding yourself weaving around the charred wooden supports of destroyed homes, passing by what appear to be almost these flexible statues of humanoid forms and signs of torturous duress, like a twisted sculpture garden, moving through the smell of brimstone and charred flesh and burning campfire type wood fills the air in a very odd but sickly mixture. Turning around the corner, you see only about 10 feet in height, hidden between the gap of two buildings that largely made of stone, largely still intact, but burned through in a lot of ways or destroyed in others. Rubble still kind of kicking underneath your feet. You see what appears to be a large skeletal type of creature. Nowhere near as big as the Soul Harbor, but nowhere near as humanoid. As if a really big, really mean dog had no skin, organs, or flesh. And a long and winding tail kind of flows freely from it, almost as if it is independent from the rest of the body. Hunched over on all fours, posed almost like a dog ready to pounce, but a gorilla sitting back, kind of in a makeshift, windy form. You see this skeletal creature sitting near this portal.
Before we go any further, I would like to use prestidigitation to make the
Nailed it.
mark that Letus had on his neck on my neck.
Okay.
What's the plan here?
It won't last very long.
Less
so
an hour. So I'm hoping, whatever. Gonna have to use the slot for it.
Just
So
in case.
I mean, I don't know who we're gonna run into, but knowing
What happens next, guys?
How far does prestidigitation go?
Like 30 feet, I think.
And how far away is this dog thingy?
Probably just shy of that.
far away is the dog.
So it's 10 feet.
I mean-
10 feet.
Range 10 feet.
I could try something, but if it failed, it would.
Can we just run into
Well-
the portal?
How far does thaumaturgy go? I've actually got a card for that. 30 feet. I want to just, when he moves away from the portal, just
Make a run
try
for
to
it?
be like as sneaky as possible, but yeah, fucking run for it, okay?
I mean, I don't know if I can run sneaky.
Well,
I don't know if I've ever tried to run sneaky.
like I said, I could try something, but
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna try to distract it and make it follow some voices.
that's probably a better plan than mine. Because
Alright.
if mine fails, it would know it's being attacked.
Okay. I want to get within 30 feet and start using thaumaturgy, and I want to try to make whispers
Okay.
be like away from us, the opposite direction of us,
Okay.
and see what its reaction is.
All right.
And if it goes to start following it, I want to move up as it turns away, keeping as stealthily as I can while continuing to make thaumaturgy whisper further and further away from us as if it's like around a corner or something like that.
Okay. So to do this within range, you would essentially have to be casting it more or less on his location. So the question is, how close do you want to get when you cast this?
What's in between me and him?
The gap between two houses and the grass that lie between you?
So it's like completely open?
Well, I mean, it's only a 10-foot wide type of hallway. It's a separation of houses. It's not, maybe a dozen feet, we'll say.
Are the houses on fire?
They're mostly destroyed. They don't seem to be actively on fire. These were more resolute houses made of stone or masonry materials, it would seem.
Could you do it in between the houses and then we go around? Like have him go into the houses and he's doing this thing and we're doing that? And you're trying to find someone in the store and you keep doing this?
I'm having trouble imagining this. So we're like this and he's here and we're like...
Mm-hmm.
So can I have like whispers going on over on the opposite side of the house?
I'm going to say that would be out of range.
Can we get inside the house, maybe?
I could.
It's on fire.
Shift in.
I mean, you could do it maybe inside the house, theoretically.
I could shift in and shift out.
Yeah, you can, but you can't do the spell.
What spell? I could make
I'm going to
actual noise
use...
Oh.
and then
So are the houses actually on fire or are they just crumbling?
No, they're just crumbled and destroyed for the most part.
When you see him move, go
Yeah.
for the portal.
Okay. And then you're going to be in front of us?
I'll be there. Yeah,
I don't like when you say shit like that.
I know. Just go for the portal. I'm going to be doing the same thing. I just need to get closer. Okay?
Okay.
I want to use a blink stone, my last blink stone, and I want to throw it into the opposite house and blink my way across without being seen.
Okay, so there is enough holes and destroyed rubble in the wall where you can see the interior. I want you to go ahead and make a general dexterity check here.
27.
$18, because it's just the dice plus my dex.
Yep. So you are able to lob it in. It doesn't quite hit the perfect location maybe where you would have liked, but you do find yourself in the interior. And it seems almost as if there is an elf sitting in a chair directly in front of you. Dinner table. Not moving. As you kind of peer around, you see that like the other half of the face is melted away. And some massive attack now sort of lines up as you could see how this house was destroyed, how it was abruptly attacked. And the people were simply left once they were confirmed as dead or better off dead.
I'm sorry for your fate. And I want to start casting thaumaturgy to whisper away from the portal, away from where they are, to go outside of the house and beyond. Can I see it at all?
Not
Through,
really
like, any
from where
cracks?
you are. So it's kind of going to be, because you came in through sort of the shattered side of the wall, but you would have a wall separating you and where this creature is.
I want to listen very carefully for it to move then. And as it's moving, I want to try to come through this way and go to the portal and
Okay.
have it.
I'm going to say make a performance check.
I would like to prepare my channel divinity.
Okay.
Good idea.
Yeah, I'm a low level cleric.
It's in there. Oh, that's a Jackie Let's Go.
That's a 19.
That's a shimmy shimmy yaw.
So you see this massive skeletal creature. Yeah. And all of a sudden you hear the kind of drifting around the corner. And you see the spiked, bony fingers kind of dig into the ground several inches as it props itself up now. And you see this creature is probably 8 or so feet tall. It is standing on all fours.
Big.
It's so tall.
Everything's big and gross.
You see it start to step around the portal. The freely swinging tail cuts in and carves through the stone as it kind of walks past. You see it kind of looking both ways. Make another performance check.
Yeah, dude.
You've got his attention.
You're great at performance.
He rolled one worse than her on the last one.
It's your performance dice.
Okay.
6.
6.
We are prepared to move.
Yep.
So he already is at the end of the gap in the houses. So there is now about 15 feet between you and the portal and 15 feet between him and the portal.
But he's not looking at, does he look like he's moving?
As he kind of goes up to the edge of the gap between the two houses, you see his form kind of slowly start to twist and turn around as if he is coming back.
Shit.
Give you
Is there any...
one opportunity for a reaction if you want to do anything here.
I'll use prestidigitation.
You're using your turn for thaumaturgy.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Nope.
Is there any... I just want to pick up like a rock or like a shattered piece of wood or something and just chuck it using Mage Hand as far as I can away from the portal.
Like just back where he was looking?
No, like away from the portal, whatever could draw his attention away from the portal. That I can see.
Well, you can see either the direction he's walking or across the other house from you, so what would you like to do?
Where are we in the dice jail, dice box situation?
We're at the same corner still.
That's
Okay.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, but I have a picture in my head of... Okay, and the portal is where...
The
In
dice.
between those two. Nope. That's where the skeleton is.
See? We're all fucked up. Okay.
Oh, so the skeleton's on the other side of the portal.
Now, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to throw it over the portal past him.
Okay. Using your mage hand,
Yeah.
go ahead and make a wisdom check then.
Much better than trying to use my strength. 15.
15. Okay. Are you doing anything?
Nope, I'm just still waiting for an opportunity to get to the portal and maybe use my channel of divinity.
So, you see this monstrous creature now coming back. And then you see Sproigins' translucent-y blue hand quick fling a rock, sort of football underhanded style, hit him with the Brett Favre rock throw. And he begins kind of taking steps back towards the portal, and the rock lands. Now, seemingly convinced that something is out there, you see the creature again turn back, and you see its upper section disappear behind the house furthest away from you as it continues to move towards the street.
We would go, right? Fuck it.
And you see its tail sort of wagging in the gap between the houses, tearing up some of the stonework.
All right, we're going.
Okay. Just dipping. What are you going for it as well?
Yep, I'm going to continue to cast thaumaturgy on this side
Mm-hmm.
as I book it that way to
Okay.
the portal.
If he makes a move towards us, I would like to use channel divinity.
Okay. I'll just say for the purposes of this then, since it is literally while he is being confused and distracted and you're full speed dipping it, I'm going to have everybody just make an initiative check.
Okay, my dude.
Which is not inherently a combat.
What'd you get?
A natural 20!
Hold on.
Wait, both of you?
Yeah? On initiative,
Mm-hmm.
you got higher than like a 7.
Yup.
And it was a natural.
Yup.
All right.
So, as Walker
comes to a
is
30.
keeping his eyes fixed on this creature, hand on his emblem of Moradin,
I'm already good.
you see Sproigins throw a rock, hears it hit, and just steps around the corner. And immediately,
Just out here running like Phoebe and shit.
yeah, you spring onto the broken wall, look down and see Sproigins just casually walking forward, see the monster looking around the corner. Oh, it's time to go. And then you immediately drop down, Walker quickly following behind, all moving directly towards the portal. And you find yourselves directly in front of it as the creature. You hear him turn around and begin to recognize your presence.
All right.
Oh, running straight for it with my necklace out, and I'm grab my hand,
Hold hands.
and we dive through.
Diving into the portal. Skadi.
Yes.
You
That was awesome.
have just secured yourself a dagger, transformed into a more ignan primal state, and find yourself imbued with a new raging power, a comfortability in fire, and a seemingly modified form after having slayed a hapless, worthless demon.
I mean, he was eating a skull. You gotta, you know.
You throw a dog scraps. You
A
know?
savage,
somebody's
beastly demon.
What happens next?
Just confirming no spells, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, first thing I'm gonna do.
As long as, well, if you have a spell that only requires a material component, which I don't think qualifies, no.
Well, I speak a language, just not my language.
Correct, yes.
But,
You cannot cast any spells that require somatic or verbal components.
okay.
No somatic.
Okay.
Please. That's what I said.
I'm just. That's interesting.
What do you want to
This
do?
is the moment I've been dreading.
Mm-hmm.
Baby?
I need you to make a charisma check at advantage.
I'm gonna take one of Issa's dice and one of Mama's dice. 13.
13. So you're sitting there, focusing. Mom? Mom?
Baby, I'm coming for you. It's me.
Please help me! Oh, please come help me! Where are you? Please help me!
I'm on my way, baby.
Please help me, mommy!
And
And you feel this sort of sense of dread and pain kind of wash over your form as you're tied and in tune. And it's, whether it is purely mental or it has a physical manifestation, seems to be in great duress.
I'm gonna book it, not caring about stealth as much anymore. Using my full movement towards the direction that I think he is. It's
Okay.
continuing down that path.
So now, instead of hearing the searing of flesh as you take steps on the stone floor, the sort of jet black gives way to a slosh and a small ploof of this magma-based lava that kicks out of your heel with each pound, the ground splitting underneath you as you begin to pick up speed, running faster and faster. As you kind of try to dial in and get closer, you're moving through a hallway and you actually see what appears to be one of these purple-skinned, sort of ironclad demons stepping out of a doorway. And it begins to charge at you while you're both directly running at each other in the hallway. I'm going to say make an initiative check.
And do that slow motion jump punch at each other.
With my dirty 20.
Okay. So, go ahead and make a strength check for me.
You don't
For the
get.
let's go.
Never mind. Do I? Hang on. Nope, none of this. That okay. 19.
Okay. So, as soon as you see him kind of recognizing that he is about to attack, you just put the shoulder down and move your feet fast enough just to keep you from falling forward, and you are full speed Brian Urlachering directly at him, and he, seemingly getting a late jump, puts his hand back to throw a claw directly right into your face as he's sweeping downward, only he's savagely misjudged the distance that you could cover in such a time. You catch him with your shoulder as you're going through, grab the back of his collared armor, and just continue to move forward as you begin to splay the two pieces, moving forward and in full stride, the back of your body now resonating a steamy mist as the blood boils off of your skin, and you throw the two halves behind you, still moving and chugging forward.
Motherfucking mama bear.
Wow.
The
Literally Wolverine.
the rescue party now.
What?
Yes.
That's fine. We'll just do some cool shit like that.
The rescue party, you dive into the portal, quickly jumping through as fast as humanly possible. And on the other side, you see this sort of skinny, white flesh, kind of decayed creature. No eyes, smooth skin, almost humanoid in form, but a Jack Skellington-esque style sort of appearance to him. Fleshy, pointed type of chin rather than rounded. Eyes, maybe the tiniest two little dots, but no nostrils or mouth, a formless kind of vague semblance of facial features. And you see this creature seemingly holding their hands in place, red and purple arcane energy emanating from them, seemingly connecting to the portal.
As soon as we get out and I see that, counterspell.
Counterspell?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to stab him with my sword.
Go ahead and...
4th level.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and roll a d20 for me. We'll have you roll an attack.
Okay, let's do it.
Natural 20.
18, my dude.
Go ahead and roll damage for that quick.
He's about to...
So.
And he hasn't taken a turn.
Absolutely
and
not.
he doesn't know
We
I'm
see
there.
you, Belshazzar. We see you. Okay.
So I'm taking my sneak.
Hey, Che Guevara, what's up? Right? That's what
Nailed
you
it.
said?
Yep.
Cool.
Come on.
So 11 of the first damage.
Okay.
Oh no, that's 22 of the first damage.
Yep. Double your dice.
Dead. Just from
Yeah.
what I can see.
Okay. Well, yeah, not a particularly powerful...
40-ish with the sneak.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see this creature, kind of like the...
Double.
It's 20-ish.
What is
double.
the labyrinth builder from Pan's Labyrinth, like the hand-eye
Oh, yeah.
creature type of dude? Yeah,
I like
exactly.
him.
Holding this, and all of a sudden you see the magic drift away from his hands as this poof of white arcane energy completely blows his arms open, and then you see like these tiny insects crawling over the top of his head. These eyes affix themselves to the front of his face, and as they take a quick blink, you see Hara launch a flying attack right as they are moving through, and he almost goes to swing before you realize both of his arms completely severed. And Hera just grabs him by the side of the head and pushes, and he falls off a bridge down a 15-foot gap into what appears to be a molten pool of lava below.
Was he humanoid?
Humanish.
Do I think I would be able to change into him?
You can certainly try. Before that, I need both of you to roll Constitution saving throws.
Okay. Well, I'll use the fire dice.
That's me on the Constitution saving?
Yep.
Is this for
Both of
fire
you.
stuff?
Yep.
Does your
Hey,
armor?
I'm fire resistance.
Warren property?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I'll say make it an advantage.
Yay!
What'd you get?
I failed.
Okay.
You know what? I ain't used one of these since I woke up.
I mean, it hasn't been long since you woke up either.
Nope. No, it hasn't.
Just cocked.
Nah. It's a 9.
A 9.
It was enough on a 9.
Okay, both of you guys' max speed is going to be decreased by 5 feet. And
Okay.
you'll make strength and dexterity checks at disadvantage.
I mean, at a -2, I'm almost at disadvantage all the time anyways.
You know, you're finding that the oppressive heat of the circumstances for the surrounding sweltery lava kicking up from the ground really wreaking havoc on your overall physical form. The heat is oppressive, like stepping outside anywhere in Arizona.
Especially during the summer.
And and immediately you find yourselves both feeling sluggish, weighted, heavy, but still able to press on, though maybe not at the expeditious pace that you were looking to accomplish. What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna quick take off the Raven cloak and put it in the bag.
Okay.
Holy shit, that was awesome. High five.
Let's go.
And then I want to, while we're slightly walking, I want to see if I can change my form into that gross person.
Okay, I need you to make a Constitution check.
Okay. Let's do that one. That is a 9.
A 9. So you get kind of close. It still resembles mostly human, and it is extremely difficult to hold.
All right. I'll drop it then back to I will go to my human form, but still have my prestidigitation.
Okay. Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
It's okay, I had to practice.
Yep.
Jesus.
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
Prestige.
Is it
Igitation.
LK Letus kills the LKD, right? Letus kills demons.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Nailed
so I
it.
still got my
Absolutely.
LKD in the same spot that Letus has his.
Okay. So, what do you guys want to do? Where are you moving? What are you doing?
Does this look like the place that I think that Skadi is at?
I would like to cast Sending and say, Skadi, we're here. Try and come find us.
Okay.
Doesn't speak common. That's it.
Okay. So, you do receive the message. You can telepathically respond.
In common?
Yes. You're not, this is not speaking.
Okay.
You use your brain words.
So it's a bridge?
You are currently on a bridge. You would recognize this as the Molten Gap, the area that separates the residential portion of Phlegathos from the military section of Phlegathos.
Fuck. Okay, so what's in front of us? Is it a huge...
Are we outside or are we in a building?
You're in a massive, wide open cavern. You're on a large stone bridge that appears to be made of some kind of onyx black stone, spanning this gap, kind of stretching across these rocky crags that were seemingly left in place and flattened out to have these bridges span the gap between the two sections of the city.
Is there anybody in front of us on the long bridge?
There does not appear to be.
Yes. What's after the bridge?
After the bridge, you see disappear into blackness as this probably 10-foot or so tall hallway is carved out of the very rock itself. You're able to catch slight distinctions between black and gray that suggest maybe the hallway itself has doorways somewhere in the progression they're in, but at this distance, starting directly on the middle of the bridge, there's no readily identifiable markers that give you a lot of detail. But you find yourself on the
I'm
Molten
still
Gap.
pumped about coming out and watching
I'm
Hara
assuming
destroy that
she's
guy.
in the military area.
Probably.
Would you like to respond?
I'm on my way to S. I'm going to get him. Make sure he gets out.
She's still alive.
Sweet.
Let's fucking do this. I want to cast Divine Sense within 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but
Bean.
exact location, though, is what I get. So I
Yes.
just want to make sure they're not, like, right there.
You do sense up ahead, as well as behind, there are a number of fiends. You also sense a very familiar ping of specific aberrations below. You're not personally familiar with them, but you vaguely recall being told for multiple reasons. Chiefly among them, you were not supposed to, but there are special creatures housed in the lava, in the Molten Divide. The gap between the two sections is not meant to be traversed by just anybody there. Even within the hells, a resident has restrictions for the sake of their own protection, as is the rules of their hierarchy. You now sense that up ahead there are thieves, possibly in those very rooms. The bridge itself is probably only 150 feet long total, and you're getting vague pings in most of the directions.
How far does your dimension door go?
500 feet.
Oh, are we able to just pop on over?
You can
I can
bring
take
one.
one. Yeah, I can take only one person.
You guys go. I'm at least close enough to this. Well,
Where would we even go? I have no idea where we're going in here.
just across.
I mean, we could just run across the bridge. There's nobody in front of us.
Well, there's like stuff in the fire. I don't.
Well, I'm not gonna fall off the bridge if there's nobody.
No,
in.
they're like.
Skadi.
Like they
feel
jump
like-
up out of the fire.
All I know is
How
they
far
were
down?
Like,
How far down is the
they're
lava?
like a thing.
Like 10, 15, like a dozen feet or so.
Oh shit! I thought it was like.
It's
No.
there's special creatures housed in there,
Oh.
basically, so that you can't just go there.
You now all
Materialize.
do see that there is a bubbling up.
You can fly, so I grab Walker and dimension door.
How far are you dimension dooring?
I'm dimension dooring 10 feet past the lava.
Okay, so you find yourself immediately in a burst of this purplish pink arcane smoke. Walker and Sproigins disappear directly in front of you and appear
Okay.
probably
I can
75
fly
or
too.
so feet in front of you visually. And you
She said
now
to just go.
you appear and are looking around in the spot that you've landed, and you see this demon who's
I want to grab onto his armor and make sure to turn my head towards him so the LKD is showing.
so
And I'll
you
flinch on him because I have no idea what to do in this situation, and I don't want to
see
hit him.
This demon now with this just extremely taut skin, like hooks were placed up front and just pulled back, each bone kind of ridged and nubbed, and a number of small cuts now appear on this pale white flesh.
Quiet. Quiet, you! In Abyssal. I'll say that.
Make a deception check. Make a performance check.
That's a Walker-ass roll right there. 27 for me.
3.
So he looks at you, and he sees Walker there. Like, what are we doing?
Shut up, you!
And he goes, and he's going to attack you,
Stupid son of a bitch.
and manages to slip directly between you and Walker as you both kind of instinctually move out of the way. I'll give you both an opportunity to react here.
Perfect, because I would like to cast Big B's hand and push his ass into the lava.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check with Big B.
Perfect.
This is an athletics check with Big B.
Athletics.
Plus 8.
Okay. Eee. Okay. Well, let's say it's 17. Does that get him in the lava?
So, that gets him, as he's swinging, both of you instinctually kind of move. Quick wave of your hand. He comes back, and as he is going to stab into Walker's abdomen, you see a finger stop his wrist in place, and immediately and just wrap around his wrist and begin kind of dragging him towards the bridge section that he just walked away from. Clawing at the ground.
Shoot his ass.
I guess I'll take a few shots.
Go ahead and roll an attack at advantage.
Yes, let's go! Let's go, Bigby!
We'll do the bonus action on all of that.
Okay, sure.
Marksman.
Yeah, planar warrior sharpshooter his ass.
Well, I rolled a natural 19, which means I get another attack. So
Tell you what, this is how
yeah,
we do it.
Yeah. Listen.
I rolled a natural 19 and a natural 20 on the second attack.
Can you shoot his head off into the lava?
Like, I don't think it stacks, but
So-
he's dead.
Yeah, he did.
So Bigby now dragging
That's
him.
the best rolls.
It seems
Yeah.
like he throws himself into fighting against Bigby's hand, but Bigby's still just super gently, very calmly, this massive purple hand just kind of pulling, and then you see him start to lift this creature up in the air a little bit. A few feet moved off of the bridge, lets him go, and right as he's beginning to fall, gravity takes effect. You see 2 arrows fly.
Yeah, dude.
And this creature goes limp before he even hits the ground, and you just hear the sizzle as he disappears below the top layer of magma.
We need to just go around rescue missions all the fucking time. It's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Which brings us back to Skadi. You now hear the crying whimpers of Is somewhere within range of the telepathic bond that you have formed. You continue to hear the screaming and crying. Mom, come get me, please.
I wanna.
Please come help me. They hurt me so bad.
So while I'm gonna
Please.
stop real quick. Stop running. I'm gonna
Okay.
close my eyes, and I want to see if I can see through his eyes.
Okay. So as you are focused, you feel a shift in your form, like your internal sense of self is ripped out of your body, thrust forward until you open your eyes again, and you look around and you see massive, thunderous, powerful legs chained in multiple sections. You hear Issa's breath and kind of every now and then. And you feel the legs kind of fighting against the chain to no avail. You see a stone room, very small, not much bigger than Is would be in total. In front, you see a small glimmer of light, and through Issa's dark vision are able to make out that there is a sort of curled, barbed fence that is folded in on itself to create the closure of the door that he is in. Probably anywhere from 8 to 10 feet tall, give or take, as he doesn't have quite the vertical opportunity to see. And he is kind of confined, not able to move very much, but you do see what appears to be the flickering of this light in a distance that's kind of pulsating. Beyond that, there's not much to see, unfortunately.
Okay, but I know I'm close-ish to him if I can see.
Close enough to use his senses. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to. There's no way for me to know which way Livus went from this point, I assume. I am going to just book it in what I hope is the direction that he is, and continue talking to him and telling him that I'm coming for him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, full speed running until I take a couple turns, and then I'm going to, or until I run into someone again.
Okay. Go ahead and roll percentiles for me then.
Mother, father.
When's the last time you did that?
I don't even know.
We don't have percentile rolls very often until somebody says, I'm just going to try this.
Yeah.
And
I think
hopefully
maybe
it works.
slat of holding. That was the last time I used mine.
Yeah, it's probably been a while.
82.
You find 82 demons.
The total number of stabs you get.
Yep.
Okay. So, as you are moving through, you are continuing to hear the escalation of victims. Screaming begins to ring out and fill the hallways. And now you recognize that the pinging resonance of the onyx walls, each screen bouncing off the slate in a unique way, now in your form, attuned to your environment. You almost feel the air vibrate off of your own heat. And harken back to when you first focused to try and listen to where Is was being taken, where your things were being taken. this vibrating air around you settles. Another scream rings out and you continue moving forward. And as you reach the end of a hallway after just another minute or so of travel, you find yourself in an area that is both empty and dark. Everything is silent and still, but now in your new form, you're also able to take in the area around you for the first time in pure darkness. And it's all the more shocking then when a burst of light catches your eye for a brief moment. And in the distance, you're not able to make out the actual structure itself, but you see a light pulsating on a distant wall down the hallway, seemingly mirroring the rhythm, timing, and luminosity of the one that you saw through his eyes.
I'm gonna go for it.
So we find the rescue party back in the torture section of the prison, having just murdered another hapless victim demon.
You make them so sad.
They all died horribly sad deaths.
Yeah. Fuck those guys!
They're in the wood.
Okay, I would like to use prestidigitation and do tattoo on Walker's neck as well.
Okay. I'm going to say that they both get substantially diminished in quality then.
Okay.
To have a sensory effect last outside of the confines of the area at the same time, I'm going to say the spell does not function as well.
Alright. Does it look like trash?
I mean, it's scarry and kind of resembles the blocky shapes. Maybe.
Alright, that's fine.
Alright.
It's fine. Alright. I put the same, I would try to do as best I can to put the elitist kind of tattoo on yours. Does mine look good?
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why?
So they think we're, whatever fucking elitist was, he was like maybe a motivator also, right?
Elitist?
Yeah. Wasn't that what he was? Doesn't matter.
he
The
was-
guy seemed fine.
Tortured.
Right.
Am I there yet?
We'll say that at this point you've able to
I'm not-
catch up to the group. They're only 75 or so feet
Sure,
away.
I understand what's going on.
You
I mean,
want
that
do you
mark
want a
means
tattoo?
No, that means you were tortured by Libus.
Oh.
Um,
But like, would we just be out? Like, if I was,
no, probably
Oh.
not. You'd
I thought it was like
probably
a good
be broken
brand.
and dead.
Elitist wasn't broken
Let's
down.
go find Skadi.
That's
He turned into an
because
angel baby and
they turned him into an angel baby because he was broken.
I can turn into an angel baby.
Let's not get
Anyways.
too loose with the
No.
angel baby terminology
Yeah.
here.
All right.
What do you guys want to do?
Okay.
Uh,
I'll make it go away.
Okay.
I'll make it go away.
Leave Walker.
so we're in the torture area.
You seem to be, yeah.
I wanna.
Do you
She's
see
in a
what we-
building.
Do you see what we did to that guy?
Yeah, good job.
Destroyed him.
We need to find Skadi and Is.
Yeah. We're
What
waiting
buildings
for
and stuff are around us?
You're in a large 10-foot or so tall hallway that has doors arching off either side in the immediate vicinity around you.
Pass without a trace?
You got a little bit of time left on it, yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys have any way to find them?
No.
No, I mean, I know she's still alive, but
I don't have find person
I-
or find creature.
Yeah, neither do I.
let's just kind of go.
Let's fucking do this thing then.
Okay, who's leading the
I
charge?
feel
here
more
then?
confident with you trying to lead us around.
I will lead. I will keep an eye out for people. We will stealth. If anybody starts getting too close up in our business, I'm going to slit their throats.
All right. I want new stealth checks from everyone.
Are tieflings rare here too, or can I be a tiefling and people won't hassle you and I, and maybe they'll hassle him?
I mean, yeah, you've definitely recognized tieflings. There's a reason that they have not a stigma per se, but they're associated with fiendishness on the material
Right.
plane a little bit.
Yeah, you can do that. Just make sure your eyes are more solid color, not like mine.
Okay.
Disadvantage.
I'll turn into tea.
Okay.
Did she have solid color eyes?
She had full black eyes.
Yeah, that's what I want to look at.
Went from a 1 to a
what?
20. Nice.
Because we're at
What do you got for
disadvantage on
stealth?
strength and
But this is-
dex.
Natural 20,
Oh.
which brings me to like a 35 or something.
You rolled higher, didn't you?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, with that, 45.
Oh, Jesus. 26.
What? 45?
Because we've got pass without a trace,
I don't know,
Yeah.
it's 10.
and then I got natural 20,
Shit, that's right.
and then I've got a
Wow.
plus 15,
Yeah.
and then
Knocking
I
it
got a
out.
plus 10.
Okay. What'd you get?
15. 22.
Damn, you got some home field advantage going
She's
on
an
right
expert
Yeah.
in
Stealth. Yeah.
Expert in stealth, yeah. What'd you get?
now. 26.
26. All right. Let me do my end of it. My fucking god. All right.
good.
It's okay, they never would have seen me. See me coming, kill them all.
Let's go.
That's all right. I still got a chance here.
Nobody fucks my family.
Mm.
All right. So,
Not with fucking Kobe in the house. Playing at the Staples Center
are
right now.
you're leading the navigation
I'm
through
leading.
through the plane. All right. So, I'm going to have you make a survival check at advantage. No, intelligence check at advantage.
Oh, metal dice.
17.
17. Okay, so you go through
Straight intelligence, not like
straight
investigating.
intelligence, associating your previous. You know what? Considering this is the exact same checks I gave Sproigins in Benamir, you can change that to history if that modifies your roll at all.
No.
Okay, so
It's the same.
17. So you continue to move through the hallways then. You see yourselves passing doorways and again begin to hear sort of these tortured screams similar to the ones we have described for Skadi thus far, and are outside of a number of these rooms, passing by slowly, hearing the tortured screams and sounds of men, women, and children. Varying ages, degrees, races, who knows, but you have entered what appears to be sort of a training ground for the motivators of the chain, or a playground for some of the more experienced members, who's to say. But you are navigating through. Do you want to change course or do anything different, knowing where you are approximately?
I wouldn't know any different.
I suppose that is true. Do you then?
What directions do I have to go?
Well, right now you've gone through an L and you find yourself at a area where you can either continue to go straight or you can turn.
Well, what does it look like straight ahead?
Same thing into where you can no longer see on both directions. Even with your dark vision, it appears as if it eclipses at least 120 feet.
Taking a left.
Okay. So you turn around the corner, continue to pass by the screams as they echo, resonate, grow louder as you move through this area until you come upon a rather strange sight. You see a rather small demonoid creature form that appears to have had its head almost twisted off, and you see its body lying in this broken form with a humanoid skull, tiny bits of flesh still on it, splayed out on the ground, seemingly
Any footprints?
dead. You know what? I'll give both of you a survival check in this circumstance.
Does it look like it was torn in half or bit in half? Like Is might have bitten it in half.
Neither.
Tarot cards.
23.
13.
23. So you don't see any footprints, either of you, as there's not a lot of accumulated sort of miasma on the ground that would allow for you to sort of find definitive footprints. However, you are now recognizing a specific pattern. Not footprints per se, but as you kind of move forward and inspect, every few feet there's almost a tiny sideways teardrop, almost as if some kind of molten rock was extended out from the forceful push. They're tracks, not of feet, but you recognize almost something having left a trace through this solidified rock that still seems hot.
Is there anything in the room?
The room is empty other than this demon that's had its head practically twisted off and the skull that it was chewing on at the time.
All right.
Is there anything to suggest that it would be Skadi who did this?
There's very much nothing to suggest.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
there's. That's why I went with Is, because Skadi don't do shit like that.
I suppose in that sense, this would maybe be somewhat akin to the cracks in Is's armor, where his sort of inner molten skin and flesh would have
The
been
pathway?
seen before. Yeah,
This looks like isness.
All right.
not Skadiness, but
Yeah.
Isness.
We'll follow the isness.
Sit. Yeah.
Okay. That brings us back to Skadi.
Yup, queen.
I want to like run another. How far away is the blinking light from me?
It's probably just within the very, or just beyond the very edge of your visual acuity. So it's probably about 75 or so feet, but with only blackness, no color, and the light pulsing. It could be somewhere between 50 and 100. It's difficult to gauge.
Okay, I want to go about 25 more feet forward and stop.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Baby, can you see the light? Baby, I'm coming for you. I'm so close. Can you see the blinking light?
What's Is's Constitution modifier?
+2.
Okay. So you see him, or you hear in the auditory perception of your mind, him kind of stiffen up.
Yeah, yes, I see it.
Okay, I can see it too, baby. I'm getting really close.
Please come get me.
I'm coming, babe.
Please, come get me.
Okay. And I want to look around.
Okay.
Now that I know I'm getting close to Is, I want to take a look around and see.
Make a perception check.
I'm not me.
I mean, aren't you?
She's isness right now.
She's able to speak common.
She was able to
Um,
telepathy common.
Perception check.
Wait, am I still proficient in though?
Yeah, you don't lose any of your inherent abilities. You just have the new.
Scores.
Correct. You take on the traits.
Well, then it's.
You are still you. You maintain all of your other functional abilities.
It's a 10 then.
Okay. So you don't see anything inherently untoward.
I'm not gonna go full speed. I'm gonna
Okay.
try and sneak towards the light.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check.
My dex is way higher now, so that's nice. Not that much higher, I guess. 16.
You do not benefit from the passive life trace.
No, I do not.
So, you continue to creep up, moving slowly forward. You don't actually hear anything of note. It is surprisingly quiet, and you're actually able to pick up on the slight whimpers of Issa's pain as you begin to get within range, and hearing it through your mind gives way to tuning into your physical senses as you are actually close enough, it seems like, to hear Is. And as you get closer, it's difficult to make out the exact details because it is quite bright, but the light seems to be emanating from a small diamond-shaped, kind of almost plasticky looking gem in the wall.
Baby?
Are you here?
So close. Are you alone? His wisdom is.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I don't see anyone. Can help me, please? Let me go. I want to go home, please. Children, I just want to go. Get out of here, please.
Okay, baby, I'm gonna be there really soon. I need you to do everything I tell you to do, and I will get us out of here, okay?
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna continue trying to stealth towards where I think he is.
Okay. So as you get closer, you recognize now as your eyes can differentiate between the light and shadow with your normal vision. The blinding brightness gives way to a sense of context, and the onyx black stone gives way to a gray slate that seems to canvas this overall area, carved out of a deeper portion, perhaps, or a less magnified section of whatever this large structure is composed of. And you find yourself 10 feet away from the crusted threshold of a T intersection, with both directions seemingly having an absence of bright light coming out. What would you like to do?
I'm like right in front of the light, right? And it's like a...
Yep.
Alright. Just look at the light, babe.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick my hand out. Do
Okay.
you see Mama's hand?
I see it!
Is it coming from the left or the right?
If you go to the side that the walker doesn't shoot with.
I'm gonna stick my head in. Is Mom looking down at you?
Yeah, you got it.
I'm gonna turn the corner and I know I'm walking into a fucking trap. I'm gonna keep going.
Okay. You continue to creep low with the dark hallway filled only with the soft glow of your magma veiny structure underneath this black crested armor now around you. And as you continue moving closer, you see the glint and glimmer off of this wrought iron cage with folded spikes inward, creating the fence enclosure for Is. Moving forward just a touch more, the hallway itself probably being only another 50 feet or so long, you make small, quiet steps. And then you hear from behind the other direction. Yes! I'm so happy. Make a dexterity saving throw.
If I'm gonna make one, I want to make one of this. As opposed to as myself. It's an 11 if I count that.
Okay. Is there a reason why you wouldn't count
Because
that?
it flew off.
You meant to roll it, it landed clean. So you rolled an 11. As you are creeping around, you turn around instinctively and can see Livis's twisted, broken face and form, skin just hanging off the bones, that broken, tattered robe. You see him holding one of his torture needles, playing with it between his fingers. And immediately from the ceiling, spikes begin to drop down, creating a cage separating you and Livis, but they continue to fall as if they're going to land on you unless you move. Pushing, closing. What are you going to do?
Back towards this.
Yep.
I'm gonna full speed of my new form, which is really friggin' fast, to Is.
Okay. So you start dipping, running away from these falling spikes that are mechanized and crashing down, smashing the stone and casting up this massive kick of rock behind you. Bouncing off of your form, you actually hear the as the fragmentation of the slate bounces off of your new armor. Running faster and faster and faster, you get within 10 feet of Is and you hear a massive drop of the spikes again. And then you hear the grinding metal as they appear to be pulling back up into the ceiling above. As Livis, excuse me.
Whoa!
Yeah, sorry.
That would have been...
Livis begins kind of skipping towards you, playing with his needle. Yes. With the second to last spike wall raising, he gets close to the separation that now separates you with the massive metal bars that would have pierced you had you not fled from the immediate drop. Nothing better than a family reunion. Yes. And our rescue team.
Did we hear that?
I am going to say...
Your brother's fucking creepy.
I know.
Yeah, you would have heard this. You heard a massive clatter, a dropping of systematic stone and metal in this thunderous rhythm from some unknown portion of deeper within the traversing hallways.
But it still seems like it's following the path of Isness.
With the reverberation of these hard stone walls, using auditory clues is very difficult. I'll give everybody a perception check to try at it.
24.
25.
Andrew Tilly. Which makes it a 33.
Where's Aegis?
You guys have never rolled so good consistently.
Nope, we need to always go to the hells.
We need to always.
You guys hate the Feywild, but like super ready to get back to the hells.
Yep.
Kill everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's because we can give in to the murder hoboness and just let free.
You know what? I like the way that.
Yeah, you get to fly free in the hells and
Yeah,
be
we don't
your-
have to worry about it.
You can live your best life
Hello,
in the
set
hells.
arms. Come on, where you go? Lava.
Yeah.
You lava.
So you like the hells because you get to be yourselves. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but there's lava.
That's true. Absolutely nailed that. That is a unique distinction. All right. So you guys are moving through then.
Shut up. So wait.
Massive, thunderous, cavernous, boom-filling area. Walker and Hara both pause for a moment, and you feel the air vibrate off of the walls as the sound bounces all around you. And immediately you see Sproigins whip around the lute. Plays it as the last bit of the reverberation passes through you. This way. And immediately just kind of drunk Jack Sparrow sort of leads the direction for where you guys have to go.
Bolting.
Pushing forward. Are you dipping past him then?
I mean, she's got it. My speed is already 5 less.
That's true.
So,
okay.
So yeah.
So you guys are hot in pursuit of this thunderous crackdown following Sproigins' vibration attunement to the overall area's resonance frequency, while Skadi, you find yourself now face to face with Livus. Metal bars separating you. Locked in a cage, just barely big enough for him to fit through, with spiked fencing behind him.
The metal bars are between me and or me and Livus?
Well, you're both sides now.
Oh, I'm in the cage.
You were cordoned off by these dropping spikes, pushed towards where he is also locked.
How can I touch
He is separated from you by bars, but you could reach in there and potentially touch him, yeah.
How far is Livus from me?
He is about 2 feet away from the bars, just staring at you, kind of.
Okay, does he take any fire damage? Because he would if he was within 5 feet of me.
He doesn't appear to.
Okay. Okay. I'm a keep staring at Livus, but I want to reach back and just like pet as Skadi would, so that he knows it's me, since I don't really look like me, and I'll be like, Mama's here. Mama's here. Okay.
Mom, you look so different. It's so good.
This is my form.
You look pretty handsome. Pretty good boy.
Thank you.
No more blue elf for you.
That's right.
Pretty hip. You like an person.
I gotta. We gotta kill this guy first, though. Okay, bud?
Oh, we're gonna eat him?
Already cooked meat.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, that's good. I was hoping that, actually.
You are trapped. You are trapped and you are helpless and you are my prisoner and I will make you scream because I enjoy it. And before you go making your idle threats, I don't think I am on the menu. Besides, your dear boy already tastes so good. He still has, what, 7 more legs left? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, do you want to play my game again?
I can read just right.
Yeah.
Is it a bonus action to drop?
What?
Is it a bonus action for me to drop?
No, it's not concentration, so you can't drop it.
Okay.
It's an effective spell
Okay.
for the duration, which you're probably coming up on.
Well, I'm not going to be able to do much to him if he's not getting hurt by me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how far apart are the bars? I can slip through that, no problem.
5-6 inches.
I'm going to slip back towards this.
Oh, the bars that Is is in?
No, I did my bars.
How are you slipping through those?
I just read it. I can squeeze through a space as narrow as 1 inch.
That is for the full fire elemental form. You are not an actual fire elemental.
Well, then you shouldn't have put it on my sheet.
That's probably true. That was the base statistics, but you're not able to do that. I'm sorry.
Brutal.
I mean, you're still super cool. You are a good boy.
I am a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna try and swing on. No, I don't want to swing on Libus, and I can't drop form. I'm just gonna try and make Is feel a little bit better, and tell him that Mama's gonna handle this once she's no longer in her Is form.
Okay. So as you're comforting him, you see Libus almost kind of light up with joy a little bit. Yes. Tell him he'll be okay. Tell him you'll protect him. Tell him. Doesn't want to play a game, just like an ant, just like a little tiny ant.
It's a good boy.
Yes, he was.
I am going to tell Is. It's not going to work very well, I'm pretty sure, but to try and petrify Libus.
Make an initiative check with Is.
No, you can't let's go already.
Nope, that's not.
His let's go and oh wait. 14.
Natural 1 on the initiative check. So
That looked like a good let's go.
Well, that's a let's go Is.
you're trying to
Part one.
petrify him,
That's part 1.
Yeah, I'm not trying to burn him.
and that's a con save, correct?
Yeah!
Okay. So, however, specifically read the effect.
He gets to do it again.
So, as he is sort of going through his gloating glee, you see him turn to take a step.
I'm going to take this time to try and bust out of this.
Very well. And you see an arcane flash in his hand. And immediately you hear the grinding of stone and metal again. Instinctually preparing yourself to dodge a dropping of barbs. The grind itself is substantially slower. And you turn around and now see the ceiling in Is's cage begins lowering down. Tell him he'll be all right. Tell him you'll keep him safe. They give him this chance to save. So, I will give you an opportunity to react before pushing next round. What do you want to do?
Do I have any concept of how close I am to dropping this form?
It's not within the next few seconds. You know that.
Mama bear over there cage.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and Mama Bear to Is.
Okay. So, you walk up, grab both of the curled in fences that are protruding inward with a spiky point, feeling rigid and rock solid, but you go to pull and start trying to pry them apart. Go ahead and make a strength check at advantage.
Mama bear strength.
Yes, a strong boy.
He's a good boy.
10.
Okay. So, as you are trying to pull and pry them apart, you get a small bend going, but they just won't open completely. At this point, our rescue party is zinging up, following the thunderous sound, the sloshing spray of magma as it had kicked out from the heels of your now transformed yet undiscovered ally. And you come into a long, dark hallway with a pulsating glow. All of you able to see in the dark, much more naturally, much more adept. Don't get the same blinding sense from this light as it pushes forward. But as you continue to move up, perhaps a little bit more cautiously, you peer through, looking around. Everybody go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Yes, come on.
Natural 20! What is happening tonight?
24.
What is happening?
23.
What's happening?
33? All right. So
I can see through planes of
yeah. So as you're all
We are coming.
quietly creeping up, trying to push forward and slow yourself to make sure that you are not falling victim to a trap, you see Sproigins stop in form. Once again, kick the loot around. Dum, 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 dum. And a look washes over his face. And immediately, like the echolocation bouncing off the walls to the attuned area,
That dolphin.
You got dolphins.
Yeah, I was just
then.
gonna say.
That's that dolphin in me now.
you now recognize, and just take a quick peek to confirm, you see two figures, one more visible than the other by far, with a slight orange-yellow glow, separated by a glittery, reflective metal cage down at the end of the hallway, approximately 50 feet away, with a demon that you have not seen, but have been told about and described to the extent where you recognize that this is most likely Linus.
Linus is down there. I think he's got us in a cage.
Dimension door me to him.
Okay.
I'll come up attacking behind.
All right. We'll grab on her hand and
Sword out. As
dimension
soon as we
door.
get there, I'm cutting him in pieces.
Okay.
I'll try to do it like 5 feet from him to try to propel her forward.
Okay.
To carry that momentum.
Bonus action and snaring strike and then attacking. I'm gonna cast it at 5th level too.
Okay, so as you are standing there pulling on these bars, you all see this magma rock-like creature trying to rip at a cage behind, obscured by both Livis's form and the form of this creature. Though large, robust, armored with this igneous rock covering the entirety of its form, it still maintains very definitive mannerisms. Size, height, ripping, Another strength check at advantage, unless you want to do something else with your turn.
Nope. I want to get out
Wait, which bars are you ripping at?
towards Is.
You want to get this out.
Okay. You could probably move through Is's bars.
But aren't I stuck in my bars?
Yes. So he's in a room, the room is barred, you're in a room, then that room is barred, and then the rest of the hallway is there.
Oh yeah, I want to get to Is.
Okay, well you can get in there or you can continue to try and open the fence. What do you want to do?
The fence would be to get towards Livus?
Either or. What do you want to do?
No.
You want to go into Is.
I want to
You
go
can
to
either
Is.
get Is out by breaking through the bars, or you can go through the bars.
I want to get Is out. I want to try and...
Open the bars.
Yes.
Jesus. All right, make another strength check at advantage. 15. So you are pulling and prying, and the bar still will not give way. The ceiling in the cage continues to lower, and you're now seeing it probably just a foot above Is's back, legs chained, and he begins,
Mom! I'm me!
and as you take a quick glance back, you now see that the petrified form of Livus is, instead of from the knees up, is now at the waist up.
Fucking go, baby!
Tell him you'll save him! Tell him he will be okay!
And you see the rock crawl up his form a little bit more, just to the midsection of his torso.
You did it, baby!
You are getting dimension doored and attacking.
I'm just delivering the attack.
Okay, so
Special
Literally
delivery.
delivering.
Special delivery. Let's do this thing.
as the moment of truth seems to come together and the point of praxis swirls around as all of the elements align, you all begin to coordinate and with only a glance of the eyes recognize exactly what is to be done. Sproigins immediately swallows Hara in a portal that disappears her like a magician's stage trick. She appears in the air and immediately throws a portal beneath her as she falls, and she is propelled directly out at Livus, sword in hand. You are making attacks down the hallway, correct?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and roll your attacks.
Regular attack. That's a natural 20.
Oh, let's go!
So, to start with, he's got to
Thank
make
you,
a
Gaming
strength
Goat.
saving throw.
Oh, this is D part, right?
No, this is the ensnaring strike at 5th level.
Oh, right. What's your DC?
16.
I mean, he's already pretty damn ensnared. Like,
Yeah.
so the rocky form, not actually bothered as much as the thorny vines wrap around him as he can no longer feel his lower half. Simply completely immobilized, but seems to be clinging to the spell that he is casting for the sake of controlling whatever mechanism this is. Go ahead and roll your damage.
11%? Wait, no, because it's doubled, right?
Yep.
So 6. I think I did do that. Yeah, it's 11. 11 damage on the first attack.
Okay,
There's
go
no
ahead
planar
and
ward
roll
or
your second
anything.
one. We'll have you go ahead and roll your attack as you are immediately launched out, teleporting in, going for a strike on Livus's backside. I'll say that you have advantage on the attack based on the conditions of the situation.
Almost a natural.
Oh shit! I
It's
thought
19.
that's what that face was.
It was very close.
That was a. That
no,
was
it would have been like a,
cocky-
oh, but that was so close though. That
Okay.
would have been amazing.
Somehow a 2 turns into a 16.
So 31.
16, 31, 11.
31 to hit.
Yeah.
I know.
You trying to flex on me, bro?
Yeah, that's a good flex though. So.
Does a 31 hit? Yes, a fucking 31 hits. No, he's actually a Tarrasque!
Does a 16 hit?
16 does hit.
I'm assuming I get sneak.
Yeah. He's half.
He can't
I
even
need-
turn
I
his
need
body.
to-
He's half statue. Like
6 piercing,
Shit.
6 spear. All right.
and then I'll get my second attack since I activated deeper in the first one.
Yeah.
So mine's 11 with the sword,
Yep.
and then I just lost it. And then 27 with the sneak. And if I get to do another one, I have bonus action, second attack.
Okay.
7 more piercing.
So that's what, 43?
Gonna come down to it. All right. That was your third, correct?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. And you have one more, your bonus?
Yep.
Shit. That's gonna
Yeah,
come down to it.
It's your brother. Cut his head off. If you're okay with that.
Perfectly okay with that. Is it 21?
21 hits, yeah.
I'm assuming this does not hit sneak?
You only get
Right?
it once per round.
Okay. I get confused sometimes. I just.
Yep. You may use sneak on any creature or any attack once per round.
10
10. Wait, to hit or damage?
damage.
Yeah, you flexed the. Okay, yeah. 10 damage as well. All right, Skadi. The ceiling continues to lower, and you now see it begin to softly depress the protruding scales on Issa's back. Go ahead and make a strength check at advantage. Assuming that's what you'd like to do, if you want to do something else.
I would assume that I don't see any way I can stop the ceiling from lowering.
You could have tried to get in there yourself, but at this point, there's not going to be room for that. What dice are you rolling?
One of them's the light up dice.
What other one did you roll?
I don't actually remember. I think it was that one.
I thought. Okay.
Reroll it. Reroll the other one. What'd you roll on the light up?
7. So
Trash.
7.
7. 2 sevens. So you're still just desperately pulling at these bars, unable to open it up, and you actually.
Help, Mom! Try and get out, babe!
And he is being sort of pushed down. As
Can I do anything?
Your action was part of this last round. However, the circumstances being what they are, I have one very specific roll to make. So, as you are sitting there thrashing, pulling on the cage, unmoving, Is now crying in your ear, you hear this and you see Hara, as she's moving forward, use the very tip of her sword to create a fissure in the back of Livis's stone form, and a tiny gap emerges that she swings through with the butt of her sword, right with the hilt, jamming it into the back that she created as 2 arrows dig into the back of what is still left of his more organic form. And as the stone continues to crawl up his form, he's about to turn over his shoulder before the flying missile that is Hara bursts through, and the entirety of his form scatters into a stony shower, a coning spray that canvases the entirety of the interior of the cage that you are in. As soon as the debris bounces off, crumbles down into the wall, is compacted until he's about 3 feet off the floor, the vast majority of his form.
Help me!
And he appears to be struggling significantly at this point in time. You will all have one reaction.
I'm still fired.
You are.
I'm gonna cast Bigby's hand in there to try to push up the...
Actually, can I see your thing real quick? Yes, you're still fire.
Get him out, no problem. If I wasn't fire, I could also communicate with the team how to get him out if I wasn't fire.
All right, so Bigby's hand in there, using strength to...
And I'm assuming I can't bonus action Negrin to help break open the bars.
Just gonna have a reaction. You can take one action. Whatever you want it to be, whatever you think you can do. Clock's ticking. All right. Both
What
of you
is
make
it?
a strength check.
At advantage still?
Yep.
Am I able to help her, or is there bars in between?
Not anymore.
19.
15.
15. What is Issa's strength modifier?
+2. Push up, babe.
Just in case. So, Livis's scattered form kicks and digs off of the wall. Skadi's molten form, unrecognizable to any one of you, pulling and prying the bars open. And immediately a massive pink hand grabs the top portion, spikes digging through the spectral purple forms of the fingers wrapped around and clenched in this, trying to rip the very gates off of the front of this cage-like structure, barely wide enough for Is to even fit in. And it seems almost as if the bars themselves will not budge or move. The form is too rigid, the metal itself is too solid.
This is strong! Yeah!
And you see him push forward, the claw portion spike digging into the side of his face.
This is strong! Yeah.
Pushing, and as he charges, you see Bigby's hand begin to curl back like a broken zipper as the front portion of the gate higher up begins to open. Immediately then, like the inside of a small creature's rib cage, this molten creature begins prying this bar open. Pulling the spikes sort of out of Is's face as he continues to fight and force himself forward. Barely able to stand, seemingly still hurt and clearly devoid of coordination as you see the stumble of his gait trying to support his own weight under what is now a very obvious missing leg, pushing forward. And as the stone grate gets to about 10 inches off the ground and he's forcing himself slowly out, the last leg, seemingly broken, fractured and limp, more a dead weight than a limb at the moment, is dragged out, just escaping the final closure of the cage. That's where we'll leave it this week.
He's out!
Holy shit, you guys!
Dungeons and Dragons!
You guys rolled more natural 20s tonight. You had everything stacked against you. I don't know if I've ever rolled so many natural, like, 4s.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any natural 1s. Oh no, I did have 1. But I didn't roll anything too bad other than 4s all night.
That's what happens when you take mama. Okay? You take mama and the kids come after you.
Holy shit. All right. For everyone still hanging out with us, thank you so much. We love every bit of support, every bit of encouragement, all your chats, all your comments, all your RTs and likes and smashing that subscribe buttons. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. What an amazing job you guys did tonight. I'm a fucking wreck. We need some Taco Bell and some relaxation, I think, immediately.
This is life,
This is like an emotion.
and life is
Okay.
We will be here again every Friday, 7 p.m. It seems as if for the time being, they are not in a great circumstance. They are not on home field turf, but Is lives. The party is once again together. And Hara has seemingly dispatched with Livus in very definitive form. Please be here with us next week, 7 p.m. We will be...
He made it possible for that to even be a thing.
I gave the last
Is
point.
a very good boy.
Sproigins missed it by 1, you missed it by 2, and Is was the deciding factor.
No, I meant Is helped with Livus.
I mean, that too, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, saved himself and
Considering
saved himself.
what he did to Is.
Whatever. We will be back.
Is
Thank
a
you
very
guys
good
so
boy.
much again. Holy shit, we're just rambling because that was a lot for all of us, I think. Please join us every Friday, every Friday, 7 p.m. CST. Like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends. Until we see you next time.
Bye.
Party on.
Doodles.
Oh shit, man.